or is he just rookie armor? Because
Public.
I remember Buck had like different armor. It was very similar, but he didn't have the pack on his back. The backpack.
Yeah, it's pretty. Bucks is the closest to being similar to the original armor comparatively. So the rookies is basically like the clean slate. Bucks has some changes. The stripe is the most predominant one. It's usually the subtypes with Mickey, Dutch, Romeo, because it's demolitions, heavy weapons, and sniper. So they have different chest pieces. They have the different shoulder pads, different color schemes on each one of them.
I think I liked Romeo's armor the most when I played it originally.
But yeah, Bucks is like the easiest to do, and they fucked it up.
Metal, are we live now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, hey, everybody. We're talking
you
about...
acknowledged them.
We're talking about Halo ODST. I said hi to you earlier, but it was before we were live. Welcome to the Forge on Terrifier 1 and 2.
Whoa.
Joining us today are regular guests, James Moore and Swollpool, and new guest, Miss Slaughter. Hello, Miss Slaughter. How are you doing today?
Good.
That was
Thanks
very
for having
professional. We never do that. What's happening?
Hey, I mean, we were doing the cold intro, and I did my casual introduction, and that didn't work out well, and then I was just ignoring the chat entirely, so I got professional for a moment, okay?
No,
right when I was about to rant about Halo some more. Jesus Christ.
Let's let her do her introduction, though. I did all that professional thing, and now we're just talking over.
I guess we can do that. I guess we don't have to talk about penises for the next 5 minutes.
No, let's not do that. So, Miss Slaughter, can you tell us a little bit about
during Terrifier. Sorry, my dog.
Oh yeah, no.
Tries to be a part of the show.
It happens on the show all the time, don't worry.
Okay.
Usually my fault.
I have the one quiet dog.
Lucky you.
But yes, hello, welcome to the new blood, I guess, for today. I just completely derailed myself just now. I'm very professional.
I'm the professional
and
one
I'm
today.
not tired at all. No, it's fine. Weren't you guys talking about like ODST or something? I feel like something weird has just happened where we just dropped in.
I was just trying to intro our guest, and then her dog started barking. Not her fault, but yeah, I guess. Yeah, Metal, how are you doing? How's Germany these days?
Oh, you know, it's German. It's not warm anymore. I like that. Yeah, I don't know. Same as always. Just things happening. I'm busy. I'm very busy with all the things, including normal work, and then trying to get these Rings of Power videos out, which is a nightmare because I don't have any time. And oh well, you know, just clinging on to dear life.
Basically, you're being really lazy and not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
God, I wish I would be lazy right now, but I'm actually just fucking rotating.
Penguin.
I need to watch Penguin, but I don't have time.
Fuck, you make time. That show's amazing.
Okay, fine. I stop exercising and then I watch Penguin instead.
You could do those. You could do both of those at the same time. What the fuck you mean?
I know. I was just trying to bully you.
Oh, you can't bully me. I'm too cool.
Anyway, yeah, we do. So, as you know, we talked about clowns last week and 2 weeks before that. No, 3 weeks? No, 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. And
we had a Space Marine Day in between.
We had a Space Marine Day in between, which was very nice. We finished Space Marine. It was very fun. And I wish I had more time to play it more, but you know, I don't. But yeah, we were like, yo, clowns, those can be pretty cool. That's totally how this happened. It wasn't just a recommendation by Mark to watch the Terrifier movies. That was all very natural. And yeah, Joker 2 was in my mind was going to be the movies like, oh, I'm going to go watch Joker 2. It's going to be at least decent. I'm going to have lots of fun. And it's going to be cool. And then was really bad and kind of sucked. And I mean, it had nice cinematography and all, but yeah, just kind of ruined the first one as well a bit. But, you know, we talked about it last week. Go check that out. But now around comes Terrifier. I guess 3 came out this week, but I haven't seen that yet.
3 is the one that came out this week, so we're shifting our Terrifier coverage so that we can catch people up on the first 2, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who just don't know what's going on with this series.
Well, if you want to be technical, there's more before this, but...
Oh yeah, I heard there was like Wasn't there like what you were saying? All Hallows Eve, I think, was the one you mentioned. I haven't seen that, so
Yes, so All Hallows Eve, since we'll just jump right in, is technically a movie that combines two short films together. One that came out in 2008 and another one that came out in 2011. And that combines those two to make a short anthology all focused around art.
Ooh.
So,
There's another art film that's a short film that came out before that called The Ninth Circle. That was Damien Leone's first film
Yeah.
that he had art in. So then All Hallows Eve kind of follows that with like all the creatures and like the hellish elements and stuff like that. So there's a lot of callbacks to that if you pay attention during the Terrifier movies.
Nice.
Yeah. All Hallows Eve basically took those two short films, put them together, added another one, and added some more details into it. And then
cool.
they released that in 2013.
All right. Well, I will watch that after the show and give you my impressions of it on our Terrifier 3 episode next week. But you kind of blew my mind with that timeline, though, because if it was 2008 to 2011, Damien Leone was making his like no-budget horror movies at the same time I was making mine. That was, like, another
look at
life
you.
ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I finished mine in 2010. Started in 2006. Cost half of what Terrifier cost, then Terrifier looks way better than my movie. I was like, oh man, like yeah, he's better.
The clown shows up in Fear and Hunger too. Oh, I think I remember that. I think
Wait,
I remember.
he does?
Yeah, I think I remember some clown character in Fear and Hunger too.
I've never heard of Fear
And I
and
guess
Hunger.
that
What's that?
Fear and Hunger.
Oh,
It's
God.
a really weird and disgusting game that I wouldn't recommend playing because I don't think it's very
Oh,
good
it's a
gameplay
video
wise.
game. Okay.
No.
it's
I think that's going to be a hot take for people.
I talked
know
about it
you can't
before.
just-
It's I know it's supposed
It's
to be
really-
like this super unfair difficulty, but I don't think it's a fun, at least not for me. It's not a fun super difficult that I like. I don't know. It resets you quite hard. I think the second one has like proper checkpoints,
Like a
like
permadeath
safe.
type deal.
Yeah, but it's like
Or it's just the checkpoints are like ultra far apart.
no. So the first one doesn't have any at all, from what I remember.
Permadeath.
And it's like it's quite gory and rapey and all that stuff. It's quite. I can't actually buy it on Steam in Germany. I had to buy it on itch.io when I got
There's a lot of
interested in the game.
penises.
There's a lot of penises. Yeah. Did we make it 5
That's fun
minutes?
time.
Did we make it 5?
Yeah, it's 7.
It's an interesting game. The reason I actually picked it up is because I don't know, I stumbled upon videos of it and it had like some kind of neat like lore to it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And I do like difficult games, so let me check that out. But I don't know, I didn't really get into it. I tried them both, but I was like, it's not really for me. It has like a very active niche audience. I think it's quite popular, and I wonder if the guy's gonna make a third one. I think it's like a one-man project as well.
If I remember correctly, like the save system is RNG. Like
But
sometimes
is it just to kind of keep it on topic? Is the clown that's in Fear and Hunger 2 is it actually art? Like, is it Art the
Yeah.
Clown?
I guess that's what
Nope, it's scary
that's
shit.
what the comment meant. Yes,
That's kind of what. So I was sort of asking that person.
yeah.
But
But yeah,
yeah, we're here to talk about Art the Clown that
Yeah.
has apparently been in more movies than I even realized.
and video
And I have
games.
more
as well.
homework to do before next week now. But that's
So,
fine. It's fun homework.
I have a question.
Ask.
Slight spoilers for the movie. He's a clown.
Which one?
Why is he not a mime? Because he mimes the whole time.
Well, I don't know. Clowns can mime.
Do they?
He doesn't speak. He just does, like, he has no means by which to speak. He makes no sound. He doesn't even grunt.
It seems
I
like
know.
he's like a hybrid of a mime and a clown because he's got the annoying horn, but he doesn't speak. He's just like very physical and stuff. But it works, honestly.
Yeah,
I think it's
Just
really fun and funny and sinister at the same time. So David
Very
Howard Thornton really
dark
nails that.
and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, the
like
actor
it.
is incredible.
I think it works.
Is
really,
it the
really
same
well.
guy in the earlier ones too?
No.
It's a different actor. Mike Gianelli plays the original Art the Clown up until All Hallows Eve, and then he said that I think he started to film the first Terrifier movie, but then they replaced him with David because he wanted to quit acting. He said that like it wasn't for him having to like sit in the makeup chair every day and like going through grueling scenes like in the cold and all that stuff. So like he wasn't interested in acting anymore. So then that's when he got replaced.
Yeah, oh, interesting. I mean, yeah, being in a makeup chair for that amount of time would be a commitment. Like, especially now that, because Art's got prosthetics on his nose and I think his cheekbones, but I think that's it, right? Like, it's not all that
I
much.
think it's just the nose. Yeah, maybe a little bit on the head because his head is a little bit oddly shaped, but and all the blood and everything.
Just the guy's head.
He's very. I think though the reason I pointed out though that it's not all over his face and it's not just like a mask is he's very expressive.
Yes.
And that adds. I think it adds a lot to him mostly as a scary villain, like demon killer kind of dude, but also just as a character to be memorable. Like, it's a very memorable thing that, despite the fact that he doesn't speak, he's constantly emoting in ways that are sick, and his sense of humor is very clearly based around people dying and killing and stuff like that, and he finds the violence funny. But the way they edit it and the way they construct some of the scenes, I think do a very good job of making it so that you can tell what he's thinking and you kind of want to laugh even if you know that you shouldn't.
Definitely, especially coming off of the third movie that I just saw. There were so many moments that Art was just making me laugh during these like harrowing scenes, and I'm just like, I really should not be laughing right now, but he's still so funny the way he's delivering his physical acting and all of that, and his expressions and stuff. So, like, Art is his own entity and he's his own icon, but he's been very compared to like Freddy Krueger a lot because of the humor that Freddy delivers, but he talks and Art doesn't, so it speaks to David Howard Thorne's prowess of like acting on being able to, entertain the audience, but also be so incredibly evil and just disgustingly terrifying in the movie, and just kind of find that perfect balance in between, like having that levity that Damian Leone tweeted about. He was like, there were some parts that he had to pepper in humor because like some of the parts of the movie was so dark, and he was like, I think we need some levity here, so I directed Art to just be a little bit comical. But I think David really nails that, like the fine line between being so incredibly evil and also just humorous at the same time.
It's for me, it's like I'm already
fine line to walk.
I'm already watching the ghost like, holy shit, that's crazy. And then he does like then RT does like something hilarious, and then I just start laughing. It's like, it works really well. Like I'm just having fun while watching these movies. I was like, I can't believe this looks so gory. And then he does like a little honk with the horns, like it's like
like, honestly, you could argue that Art is like the evilest slasher to ever exist, because he literally just derives pleasure from mutilating people and just doing the worst possible things to them in the most creative ways too. Like, that's kind of like what he lives for. Whereas like there's a lot, I mean, Freddy's probably second in line to that, finding pleasure in like terrifying people and like invading their dreams and stuff. But like all our other iconic slashers are pretty like either mute or they're just like stoic, like there's not really anything going on with that. So it's really nice to see a new type of like slasher that's entertaining and scary but doesn't even talk. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think they without spoiling much of Terrifier 3, the intro for Terrifier 3 will make it very clear that he does not have a shred of remorse in him. They don't try to make him understandable in any way. He's basically just a demon that wants to kill and scare things. And
agreed. Not a shred of humanity in this clown. Like, it's just all evil. They said Michael Myers was the epitome of evil. No, Art the Clown is the epitome of evil.
I think though
we're gonna have to get into that demon part a little bit later. Actually,
yeah, we will be getting there because
it's really interesting. Yeah.
Is it? I guess is that happening in any of the shorts or like the earlier movies, or is that only at the end of Terrifier 1 is where we find out that, I guess, here guys, spoiler alerts for the concept of Art the Clown. He is not human exactly.
No.
Yeah, they do explore that in the earlier films. It's definitely demonology related.
So
okay, the thing is, I gotta do more research for sure. I'm gonna break my head.
Said Art is human who was given powers.
Yeah, he started off as human.
Because
3, I think, it kind of tells you that in one of the scenes, and they talk about who he was, but I don't want to spoil that stuff because I think learning it.
I haven't seen the
organically
third one. I'm going
Oh,
based
okay,
off what
sorry.
the director has
Mm.
said, because the director has
okay,
said
interview,
at
okay.
the end of the first one, Art didn't know he was going to come back.
Oh, so
Well, if
that
you haven't seen
yeah.
the third one, that really goes in depth on the whole demon thing. Like, it's kind of like full circle from the earlier films and everything. So if
Okay.
you've seen the short films and all that, like 3 answers a lot of questions towards that, and also goes deeper into the whole demon thing.
Well, I mean, hey, if the
Interesting.
the 2 Terrifier episodes we're doing go well, maybe we'll throw in the shorts as a little bonus next Halloween or something. Because because I think we're doing Hellraiser after Terrifier 3, right?
Nice.
That was the idea, yeah, because I've never seen
Yeah,
any
these
Hellraiser. I
are
was curious.
Really?
I like
Never
the
seen
second
those,
one
no.
the most.
They're pretty
yeah.
creepy, honestly. You
Yeah,
can check them
and,
out.
you get a little peek into the imagination of Clive Barker, and it's it's
Well,
tough to go back from some of the stuff that he
well,
shows you.
it's a version of Clive Barker because, as he's made very clear after those movies, he fucking hates those movies and he hates the names.
Oh, really?
Oh
Okay.
well, I mean, doesn't he only have anything to do with the first one? And yeah, is the Hellbound Heart is the book, right?
Something like that. Yeah, so Clive Barker doesn't really like the adaptions, but he especially hates the name Pinhead. He fucking
can see that.
despises.
I mean,
He
is
just-
Pinhead's not ever referred to as Pinhead, though, right? He's just one of the Cenobites. He's just the one that has.
I think he's called that in the movies and listed as that in the credits. But
That was
Clive
a little
Barker,
teaser for our Hellraiser episode,
Yeah.
everybody.
but Clive Barker hates that name so much. In one of his later books, they're trying to summon him because in the books he's called the Engineer. It's a
Interesting.
Oh,
whole
that's a
thing.
way better name.
Yeah.
they're-
So, well, the thing is, in the first book, the Engineer hardly pops up, and the one time he does, he kills another Cenobite, which is super. It's
neat.
it's weird and complicated. Anyways, he
Makes
gets
me wanna read
summoned
the
in the
book.
later book, and when one of them calls him Pinhead, he flies into a rage and just slaughters everyone because
Yeah.
the name it pisses him off. The books are very
He's like,
bloody.
hey, my name's the
whole
Engineer.
thing.
That's far cooler than Pinhead. Why are you calling me Pinhead?
Well,
do you
Pinhead has
understand
more
what I can do to you?
personality.
John Hellraiser.
So,
Although I think though, because we have 2 movies to cover, and I think we will be going through the first one rather quickly because action scenes and tension scenes, I guess more so.
Because
than
there's no
action in this
plot?
movie. Yeah, it's
very-
Well, I mean, but
I mean,
I think that.
Go
I
ahead.
think that it was smart to make this movie the way he made it with the budget he made it with, because just having a straightforward escape from the killer movie that doesn't really have a lot behind it that you really need to dig into is a pretty good way to do a low budget movie that doesn't rely on a lot of good acting and stuff to like get across a great story. Though I think that Tara's the main girl, right, or the one we spend the most time with. Getting that
Yeah,
right?
half and half. She's the first final
Yeah.
girl character, and then it's Vicky for like the
Yeah, it
second
turns
half
into
of the
Vicky
movie.
for the end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't even think that's the second half. It seems like Vicky's sequence
Yeah.
is only like 10 minutes.
Maybe like
it-
third act. Yeah.
But I think that I think that when you're making a low budget project, having the scope be very narrow is generally a good thing. And I learned that lesson making mine that has a rather large scope for even less budget. So part of me, having been a person who has made a horror movie that involves trying to do blood effects and stuff with not a lot of money, he did a good job keeping it in the pocket and still making what I think is a very effective slasher movie. Even if I think it might give people a wrong idea of what the story is like in the series overall, because as we'll talk about later on, Terrifier 2 is kind of the one that like begins the A plot.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. So maybe for people who are not aware and watch this, like, what are we dealing with here? What is Terrifier doing in terms of production? I guess it's like, well, we are looking at like a budget of, and that's just the first Google result, I guess. It's like between $35,000 and $55,000 as a budget. So it's basically small budget and a dream. We're just gonna do our thing and hope it's gonna be cool. They made almost $500,000 with that first one. So this little franchise started off or I guess the actual movie after all the short stories. And people were like, we like this. This is cool. And I think the second one was crowdfunded, if I'm not mistaken. And that had like 250K or something along those lines. Wait, I had a tab open here somewhere. Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty genius
Yeah.
marketing thing for the Kickstarter because Damien was talking about like everyone was buzzing about the hacksaw scene from the first movie, and then so he was like,
Yeah.
"Do you guys want something even crazier in the second movie?" So he's like, "Crowdfund this for me, and I'll make sure there's a absolutely batshit scene in the second movie."
Yeah,
and
and
so,
there sure as hell is.
yeah, there is. There's multiple, honestly, and like he also incentivized people to donate by saying that they could be extras in the movie too, which was also
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
that's
So
neat.
some of the top donors were able to be like, I know some of them were in the clown cafe scene
That
and
makes
everything.
sense,
So that was really cool of him to do.
yeah. And then the second
Cool.
one made like 16 million on a 250,000 budget, which, man, it just brings me back to the whole Godzilla -1 thing. It's like, hey, we had a smaller budget and we made a shit ton of money, so we were successful. We didn't spend 250 million on a single episode of TV, and then basically no one watched it.
Yep.
Metal's
just-
been
I mean,
covering the Rings
Terrifier
of Power.
3
It's,
Oh,
Terrifier 3
2
just
million, I
came
think?
out a couple days ago, and it's already made more in the box office than Terrifier 2 did. And it's only out for a couple of days, so imagine like how much it's gonna rake in like over
Oh,
the
yeah.
next few weeks. Like
it's
that's
also
crazy.
annihilating Joker too as well.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
yeah. Which
And you know what's funny about
100x
that?
the budget.
It's because David Howard Thornton started. He's a big fan of the Joker, and he's always wanted to play the Joker in a huge movie.
Mhm.
And he's played the Joker in like small shorts and stuff, like internet web series shorts and everything. But he does a really damn good Joker too. But I just
Yeah.
find it really funny how he's always wanted to play the Joker, yet his clown character is beating a Joker film in the box office right now. That's pretty
I
wild.
mean, James Gunn might be looking for a Joker, and he kind of came from the like DIY horror movie.
Oh,
Like
I would love to see him
world
as
as
the
well.
Joker.
that
I
could be
think he
fun.
could nail it.
I'm pretty sure James Gunn was the writer on Tromeo and Juliet, which is a trauma movie, and
Mhm.
Terrifier. I think a good an accurate thing I could say about the gore in this movie is it is like trauma gore to a degree, but it stays a little bit more serious, and that makes it a little bit more effective and scary. I think. Like
I
it
honestly
never.
think Terrifier 2's gore was a little bit campier than the third one. Like the third one
Yeah.
definitely increased in its like production value. I think like it's definitely more believable in the third movie than it is the second movie, I think.
Oh yeah, especially there's a shower sequence.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. The gore
That's,
effects in
the
that
one-
sequence are quite good.
Oh yeah, living rent free in my head, as well as one of the kills in the last act too. I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about.
Yep. I knew, the second I saw the tube, I knew what was going to happen too.
yeah.
I was like, oh no. Anyway,
Honestly.
so we'll talk about that next week.
Oh,
but
look at all them
what-
teasers here.
what here? I guess like to get us on track. Then why don't we do our like guests and then us just our quick initial impressions of
Sure.
of Terrifier 1 specifically.
Let's do both at once. I mean, I don't
You,
mind.
you want to do both?
Yeah,
I
sure.
figured doing the impressions for 1 and then impressions for 2 might be a good idea because of how different they are.
I'm sure, yeah, we can do that as well. I don't know, just goes either way for me. So let's do one.
Okay. Well, why don't we'll go from left to right. So let's start with James.
All right. So I like them both. I think they're more towards they're not so much horror as they are, like torture porn, if anything. Which sounds insulting in this case, but I think it's closer to something like Saw. But I think they're having fun with it, so I think that's fine. Versus something like Saw, which it tries to take itself so seriously and try to put like a message behind it. But with these movies, they clearly don't. So I think that's way more acceptable, and it's a lot easier to have more fun. So outside of some things that you would only know from hearing the director talk about it, I think they're a fun watch that you don't necessarily have to think about unless you want to. So, yeah.
All right, Miss Slaughter.
Terrifier 1 is a lot more dark, I would say, than the rest of the films. Maybe 3 kind of rivals it later on, but like the first one is definitely like it's a lot of sequences in it where you're just like, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's just there's that part where he scalps the woman and like also cuts her boobs off and wears them. Yeah, he's like,
Oh shit, yeah.
he's like Buffalo Billing around like the building and stuff, and just being so weird. And like, there's kind of like a return to that in a few scenes in the third movie, to where it's like goes back to the dark roots like that. So I was wondering if Damien was going to push the boundaries like that again, because the first one is definitely like the creepiest and most unsettling, I think, out of the films. But then the second one, it kind of ups the ante with the supernatural element, and it leaves a lot of things open. But also, it gives us this amazing final girl in Lauren Lavera. She's incredible, and she's great in 2, and she just keeps getting better in 3. Like, her performance was pretty much like one of the things besides art that carried the entire movie, and I was just like blown away, especially when it got to the last act of the third movie. I was like, dang, this girl's a star, and she's really selling it. And like, she has definitely taken that character and done everything she can with it and made it so believable, like what she's been through in all of the movies and stuff. And like, was definitely the great addition to the second movie, because a lot of fans fell in love with her too, and she definitely became, besides art, the heart of the franchise. Like, people love her, and she's definitely like one of the best final girls, if not one of my favorites ever to exist. And like, that's kind of crazy when you're comparing it to like the older films that have come out, older classics, like horror classics. And she's definitely joined those ranks, and like, I really enjoy seeing her as Sienna. I think she's wonderful, and her and Art just have great chemistry as well, even if they're on like the opposite sides of the spectrum. So 2 is kind of like its own thing compared to the first one, so I appreciated that. And like, of course, Damien upping the ante with like the sadistic kills, and then he just keeps going. Like, honestly, after 3, I'm wondering where he's gonna go with 4, because like, it has the potential to be absolutely batshit, like even more than what we've seen. So I'm really curious as to where he's going with that. And I think I heard that he's talking about doing at least 5 Terrifier films. So
yeah, I heard something about
more.
5 being the number he was shooting for. And I think with as much money as he's making on them, I don't think he's going to have any issue with that.
Oh, for sure. It just keeps raking in more money and allowing him to chase his dreams and push the ceiling further. So I'm really looking forward to being on this ride and seeing where it goes, because he just like, and it's awesome that he's not caving to Hollywood too, because he's like allowing himself to preserve his vision instead of letting them talk him into cutting things out and you know, compromising on his vision by being like, hey, you better take this out or else we're not funding your movie. And he'll be like, okay, well, I'm not doing that, so we're going independent. So, and that's what he did with the third one. So I hope he keeps doing that, because the fans obviously love it. Like, he's giving the fans what they want and not compromising on it and making the films that he wants to make. So I'm here for it.
Awesome. Swollpool?
Oh my god, you guys don't want to know my opinion. So.
Well, I mean, if you think it's going to be super controversial, you can always keep it brief, and we can.
He cried while watching it. It's okay.
I didn't cry. So, how do I put this? So, I guess there's a preamble. I hate horror. I hate all of it. I think it's
Why are you
all
on this
fucking
episode?
And you're on
Metal
the
asked me to.
podcast?
I didn't want to be, but I didn't have. I couldn't bring
You're with
myself
us
to
for
tell
all of
Metal
Blade.
no.
Maybe it's pretty scary, especially Blade
can
Trinity.
say
That movie was
no.
horrifying.
I could say no, but I didn't. I always said no to the third one. I'm not seeing that shit.
I seriously assumed that both of you guys were here because you'd seen the movies and wanted to talk about them.
No, I've never
know.
seen them before. Dude, the funniest, I told Metal this. My sister watched like 4 or 5 video essays like the week before Metal even asked me. So I knew nothing about this outside of what little my sister told me. He's like, you want to watch this? I'm like, all right, sure. Why the fuck not?
All right, well, Swoll, what was your non-horror fan first impression of the fucking Terrifier movies? Man, like, I would not recommend, for the record, like, even before you go, I would not recommend this movie to anyone who gets bothered by scary movies.
True.
Like, this movie does not wimp out on anything. Anyway, Swoll, go ahead.
That's the thing, right? I was going in expecting something. So when I watched the first one this morning, I watched both of them. Like, I finished like what 10 minutes before, 20 minutes before we started. I was procrastinating. Yeah. So the thing is, when it comes to really low budget, yeah, that pretty much erased the scary factor for me. I was like, oh, none of this looks real. I'm good. Like I can,
I'm
I can
good.
watch this. Right? Because like if it's realistic, it bothers me. Right? I've probably seen too many dead people. Right? And it's like, oh my god. And then I think about it, and then it bothers me for days, and then I can't function for like 3 days in a row. Right? But yeah, the low budget really helped. Again, I'm not a huge fan of horror because like a lot of people have to be stupid for horror to like work. The first movie felt like that, where there were situations where the characters would provoke art. I'd be like, just hit him, just fucking kill him. What are you doing? Stop it, do it. And they wouldn't, and that, you know. The second one I think works a little bit better because obviously he's supernatural and a weirdo.
Weirdo.
But yeah, generally I don't like these movies, but like I had more fun with them than I thought I would. Because again, the scariest thing I like is RE4. I'll put it to you like that.
That is an action game, man.
It's pretty scary. I'll give it to that.
That should explain my position.
Wait, original RE4 or the remake?
I like both. I like horror elements. I just don't like horror. I don't like all the fucking tension and shit. Like, I'm here to chill. I'm not here for all that shit.
The first one, I think, probably has the most, especially longest scenes of tension rather than stuff happening. Because, as we'll get into, the first one's pretty straightforward.
I think kind of the benefit, like I said, the violence is like, it's almost Mortal Kombat violence, where it's kind of silly. Where it's like, okay, that's fine.
Man, I think that works quite well for a silly clown killer.
Yeah, I think this. I'll put it to you like this: if you like the silly slasher movies, these movies are perfect. But they're not for me. I'll say that.
Ah,
Yeah, fair enough. Okay,
so you're gonna watch the third one?
No, fuck you. I'm not watching
okay, so Swollpool will not be on next week's episode.
Will not be.
I mean, that's cool of you to be able to admit that they're not your cup of tea without shitting on them. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people's problem is with Terrifier lately. There's so many haters, and, like, they just, like, they even don't want to applaud the fact that it's doing well in the box office because they're like, oh my god, I hate these movies so much. I'm like, you don't have to just shit on it. Like, you can say that they're not for you, but also be like, wow, that's a cool accomplishment, you know? Because it's just a little indie movie that could, and like Damien's story is like really a prime example of an underdog story where he just like started off as a special effects guy that decided to write a character that he believed in and was inspired by, and then made 3 feature-length movies about it now that just keep making more and more money. So like that's pretty awesome for him, and like you don't have to like the movies to like respect that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're very fucking stupid, but like, they're like stupid in the way that like people like stupid. You know, they're not stupid as in like. I
love that frame, by the way.
I need I can't think of a comparison, right? Like Rings of Power. Rings of Power is stupid unintentionally. Like they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Damien obviously knows what kind of movie he's making, and he's making it for the people who like that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, someone in chat said it. It's like Leprechaun. It's like the Leprechaun movies. Fucking love Leprechaun.
In the Hood is a classic. I think you spelled the incorrectly.
I need to brush up on my slasher movie lore in general. I was never super into them back in the day, so.
Oh my, I was.
So there's lots of me for the explore in the future.
So a lot of the slasher genre. I will say this, Metal. A lot of the slasher genre is pretty bad. The good ones, though, I think are much better than people who think the entire genre sucks give them credit for. That's probably the best way I can describe slasher movies. But I guess to keep on with the impressions so we can get through the play-by-play, I like Terrifier quite a lot. I think the first one is a really good, straightforward, like horror tension movie. It's more about the feeling you get while watching it than the actual story, because like I said, the story is pretty straightforward and the character development of anyone is pretty minimal. but that's because this is a movie that's just focused on like a killer in a warehouse chasing people and killing people, and the people trying to survive. Terrifier 2, I gotta agree with Miss Slaughter on this. I think adding Lauren Lavera in particular as Sienna was not only a good call, but I think it's made this series like significantly better than not only most slasher movies that I've seen in the last like 20 years, but maybe one of the best ones in like as far as franchises go, because the protagonist not only is a strong character as far as like her ability to handle things, she really gets messed up a whole lot and isn't like OP. She can't just like instantly defeat him. But they also they're also helped greatly by Lauren Lavera, I think, being a very good actress and selling the scenes that she's in very, very well. And I think that having an equivalent good guy to a villain like Art makes this series kind of special in a way. And I think the lore stuff that starts happening in 2 and continues in 3, I think is going to make this series one that people are going to remember for a long time as one of the best like slasher franchises, because they rarely keep getting better as they go. I think people could maybe make the argument that 2 might be a bit better than 3, but I think that 3 plays on the setup that 2 did quite well. But yeah, I like this series quite a lot. Metal, how about you?
I really enjoy these movies. The gore is like the practical effects that are happening here, especially on the budget that we know it has or doesn't have, depending on how you see it. It's really impressive. It's definitely low budget and a dream, as I said before, and it's really really fun. The guy who plays Artie does a fantastic job. It's like this. Like he does all these horrible things, but then there's like scenes where it's like really funny, especially in 2. There's a lot of funny scenes in there where he just does a little honk with the horn while he's just basically annoying someone else. So yeah, there's lots of funny stuff in there while also being very gory, and you can tell the Artie character is like, he doesn't give a shit about all this killing. He's like, I'm just gonna kill these guys, fuck them, and then I'm gonna do some silly things, and then I'm gonna eat their face because that's what I do. I'm gonna throw something wild out here. I prefer 1 quite a bit over 2, actually. Not quality. I think 1 is much better paced. I grow a bit bored in some places in 2, and
I think that's a fair criticism.
And
actually.
Especially the ending, I just don't understand what's happening as it stands now. I just think it's nonsense because. It's like, oh, the sword is starting to glow, and now she's doing the thing. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know what this means, but it looked cool, I guess. So I'm gonna put my thumbs up for 1 over 2, but I still really enjoy 2. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy these movies one way or another. But 2 confuses me towards the end because I have no idea what's happening, and there's mechanics that have been implemented that I'm just like, oh, that's a thing, I think.
Without giving away too much of 3, that is explored quite a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say that. They do answer a few questions on that and like go more into Sienna's lore and all of that, and like why and her dad, and like why she's kind of like the chosen one to like battle Art. So they do explain that a little bit more, and like I said about the demon and all that stuff. So, but there's still more loose ends that Damien has to tie up in the 4th one that I'm looking forward to him exploring.
Oh, I mean, they really, I guess they set up a clear goal for the 4th one at the end of the 3rd.
True. Yeah, but, you already know where it's going at the end of the 3rd one.
Yeah, Sienna has a motivation that we were like, okay, so there needs to be a 4th one because now she has something very important that she needs to do.
True, and honestly, like, without talking about the last act and everything that happens, like, I'm excited to see Sienna in 4. Like, she's gonna be this like no holds barred final girl. Like, she's gonna be fucking batshit, dude. Like, in the best way, like badass batshit. Like, she's gonna like be motivated like never before in order to take down Art, and it's gonna be really exciting to see Lauren do that because she's already pretty much there in these performances.
Yeah, it seems like the 4th will be moving more to like action fantasy almost, because like okay, like let's just say the stuff that happens at the end of 2 is an origin story for a Buffy, I guess, essentially.
Yeah.
Like a Slayer.
You
Okay,
can't
well,
say
anyways,
that. Metal hasn't seen it.
well,
I also haven't seen it.
Amy,
I also
have you
don't care.
seen?
But that's
Have you
fine.
seen a single episode of Buffy?
No.
Or oh wait, no, you're talking about Terrifier that I'm spoiling. I guess I mean technically with us talking about Terrifier 4, sorry, we did spoil that Sienna makes it through 3, I suppose, but she doesn't have an easy time.
Yeah, I don't think they would kill her off in the third one anyway, even if you didn't see it yet, just because like she's too strong of a character and she's only had one movie.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think that would be a smart move. So you kind of can guess that she makes it through, but yeah, she like you said, she does not have an easy time. Like she gets her shit rocked, and that's just a testament of how strong of a character she is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think as strong as she gets, they don't sugarcoat the villains at any point. But let's start moving through Terrifier 1 so that we can get on to talking more of the lore when we get to 2. Maybe turn Metal's opinion around on it through discussion.
I mean, maybe in
I'm
3.
excited to be the negative one.
Possibly, yes.
I mean, you say go through 1. I mean, the way what happens is explained pretty easily. Do
you want to just generally talk about 1 for a bit then?
Yeah. I guess that we do the first seeds of the lore. I guess because we start with a television set that has like the lady with the fucked. Well, I guess it's the begin.
Yeah.
How do I put this? It's the ending of this movie, pretty much, if I have that right.
Correct,
because
yes.
that's her at the end there. That's
the first thing they Pulp Fiction it. The first thing we see is the ending. Jojo.
There you go. See, that was way easier than whatever I tried to do there. So we see her getting interviewed because she survived the killer clown man, and yeah, basically he's just. I think in this thing, I think he's supposed to be still human because we see him put on the all the makeup, all the clown makeup and the little hat and everything. So it seems like he's just decided to go out on Halloween and kill some peeps if he finds someone. And that's basically what he does. We follow these 2 ladies. I'm bad with names, so I forgot all the names already.
It took me till halfway through the
Tara
movie to know their
and
names.
Is it Tara and Dawn? Dawn is the other one, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn is the blonde. Tara is the.
Hey, both names of Buffy characters too. I actually didn't even catch that until just now.
Which was my immediate one complaint. As soon as they introduced the sisters, like you named one Tara and then the other one Victoria.
Tara's sister is Vicky. Dawn is the blonde girl.
Oh, okay,
who they never call in this movie. It's always Victoria. Super weird in my opinion. Why would it be Tori? Or as you said, Vicky. Those are like the 2 easiest ones.
But yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. My first like confusing point after like taking out of the equation the second and third movie, like already seeing that and just like thinking about the first movie, I can see how people would be confused about the lore and like who Art is, like if he's supernatural or a regular person in the first movie, or also Victoria. Like when I watched the first movie, I was like, that's super weird how she was just a normal woman that Art put in his crosshairs and mutilated and stuff, and she ended up surviving, and then all of a sudden she's evil. Like, I was really confused by that. I was like, was it like a Resident Evil infection zombie effect where like Art has contact with her and mutilates her and almost kills her, and then he like passes his evil onto her? Like, I had no idea what they were going for with that, but the more that you go through the movies, like they kind of explain that more, especially in the third one. Yeah. So like I can see why people would be confused just watching the third one or the first one and being like, why is she suddenly evil? And she like attacks the reporter that's interviewing her and stuff, and then she's just like not herself, you know? So I was confused by that, but they do clear that up later.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
Metal's the wrestling fan on the podcast, and
I am.
I think you're gonna find some of the stuff that happens with Vicky in 3 kind of funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, James. What were you saying?
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I was going to say. I mean, I think it's a reasonable break for her. The newscaster right behind her back is just calling her ugly and disgusting after she's been in a psych ward for over a year having to deal with not only losing
she
his
still
sister.
didn't deserve to get torn to shreds. Like,
Yeah, but well, Vicky clearly lost it at that. Imagine being in the psych ward for a year, dealing with both family and friends dying, and especially after seeing Art butcher that one lady, and then immediately right after, the first time you come out, you're just there to be insulted the whole time. I think I would crack.
I guess what you're saying is taking sequels out of the equation. You still buy Vicky doing what she did.
Especially by the end of the movie with her cracking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a fair interpretation. What do you think, Metal?
I didn't even think about any of this when I watched the first one. I was like, oh, that's gore that they want here, I guess. I was just enjoying the ride.
No, I guess we're talking about Vicky's motivation in the first scene. Like, why she kills the host.
Oh yeah, my initial thought was similar to James. It's like, oh yeah, she's just like, fuck that. Just getting shit on immediately after surviving this horrendous journey we're about to see.
Does that work for you though, or do you think it's not enough?
I mean, fine, I guess. I don't know her. I didn't know enough at this point to even make like a good guess. I don't know if she was right in her mind or not. I mean, she sounded pretty normal when she was doing the interview, but I guess when
the podcast, the show.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just was something, but obviously she's been like corrupted or whatever you want to call it towards the end. I guess, especially when you get to the second one, there's something going on there already.
Yeah, I guess to catch any of the viewers up who have not seen the movie, the girl who is the quote final girl at the end of this movie, it does not go well for her. She gets mutilated, and the first scene of this movie is her post mutilation for I think 5 years. I guess is how long it was.
1 year.
Oh, it was
1 year.
Yeah, 1 year between 1 and 2. I think it's 5 years between 2 and 3. And she kills the host of the show, the talk show host, because the talk show host is sitting in the mirror and like talking shit about her essentially. You don't know that it's the I guess de facto second protagonist of this movie until the end, but that is how this movie begins, and the gore in the first, and where not Art but Vicky is killing the host is pretty intense.
Yes. But yeah, the story is set on Halloween, so that's quite seasonal what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And we follow the two ladies, Tara and Dawn, right? I got that right this time.
Yep.
And they're basically like, well, we're really drunk, and you are not gonna go drive your car because you're drunk. We're gonna go sober up first. And this is where Artie first sees those two and probably decides then, you are gonna be my targets. And he's already doing like silly shenanigans because the blonde lady, the blonde one is like drunk, and he's like, hey, what's up,
jokingly flirting with him.
Yeah, and in a way I have to say, like, they actually do a good job just portraying drunk people. Like, they're just doing silly things that you wouldn't do normally. But yeah,
Halloween makes it not unreasonable for a clown dude to show up.
Oh yeah, for sure, exactly.
Like for all she knows, he's just a handsome dude that's wearing a clown suit.
Yeah, he was able to blend in a bit doing this on Halloween, especially since like everyone was like, "Oh, he's just a dumbass in a costume, like whatever, like don't take him seriously. He's not a threat."
Yeah,
but it couldn't be more wrong.
It's also worth mentioning that the whole story is predicated on the two being drunk and not being able to. Oh wait, you already said that. I'm sorry. Just the whole drunk driving thing. I wasn't paying attention.
So they go get pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to Pizza, Wines, and Liquor.
Vegan
probably
pizza,
my
by the
favorite
way.
scene in the movie, honestly, just because it's got humor and like really tense moments, like just how creepy Art is in the pizzeria. Just
and
staring
disgusting.
at Tara. Yeah, and disgusting. Yeah, wiping his poop on the walls in the bathroom.
Oh, he shit all over that fucking bathroom.
He blew it up.
That is the lore that tells you why they know his name, because he can't talk.
Honestly, I always wondered. I was like, is Art his actual name that he's writing in like blood and poop on the walls, or does he just think he's making a work of art, so he writes Art on the wall?
Maybe.
Just looks at us like, this is my Picasso right there.
Every time there's shit flinging in a movie, I always think of 1,000 Ways to Die, where they're questioning, has someone ever shot themselves to death? And they go to this, they pan over to this black guy and he was like, I don't know if anyone died, but I feel like they should have. I walked into the bathroom stall. I walked into a bathroom stall once. There's shit on the floor, the walls. Somehow shut up and smeared on the ceiling. It was disgusting. It took 3 days to clean.
Oh man.
Ugh. You don't get paid enough for that.
Was a wild show. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I kind of miss it.
That's why I hate when I have gastro patients, man.
But yeah, he's just being kind of a.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just
I
been.
do what I gotta do, but still, it sucks.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a woman speaking and watching Terrifier 1, there are so many moments in it that Tara and Dawn come face to face with Art that I'd just be the fuck out of there. Like, I would not even literally even entertain this and like be in the same area as him. Like, the moment Art walked into the pizza place, I would have just been like, you know what, let's go somewhere else. Like, just fucking dip out. Like, there's no way I would just, because I would immediately be unsettled by him, especially since they just saw him before going to the pizza place, so he's obviously following them. That's not a coincidence.
Oh,
I don't know if it's just the world we live in.
Look at that guy.
For real, exactly.
Yeah, once you see his teeth,
the teeth
are the final straw. It's like, okay, no, that's more than just a silly costume.
Seriously, and I
You didn't need to go that far, you did.
They should have just left as soon as they saw him at the corner. God, man walks around with the trash bag.
Because he smiled at them with the creepy trash bag and stuff, and I would be like, no, that's enough for me to just like completely walk the fuck away from this.
Walk?
I mean,
like running.
I feel like if I were one of the guys at this pizzeria, I would be like, dude, you're leaving that bag outside. You're not bringing a garbage bag. And if he's like, he's not going to be able to explain that it's not garbage unless he opens it. And
okay, that must be the most industrial strength trash bag for him to carry all those saws and stuff that could puncture through it, and just like it's totally fine.
This is the first sign of supernatural in the series.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He has the best garbage bag ever.
A perfect advertisement for Hefty, I guess.
Look, you can carry all your murder tools in here.
Ooh.
Yeah, like once he looks at you, the frame we just had up, once he looks at you like that, like 911.
Seriously.
Immediately, it's like, I'm gonna sit right here until the cops show up.
But that is why he was able to get away with it, because he did it on Halloween in costume. Like, Dawn just kept saying, like, oh, it's just an idiot messing with you in a costume. Like, don't worry about it. If that was any other day, like, they would definitely be, like, raising the red flags immediately and being like, oh, hell no.
I feel like even, like, if I got a 911 call, I've never worked as a cop, only as a medic, but if I heard a 911 call where they said, hey, there's a guy dressed as a clown who's very, very creepy and he's harassing people and making them uncomfortable at a restaurant, I feel like you could still get cops there even if it's Halloween.
Oh, for sure. Well, Halloween is one of the most dangerous days of the year. There's always some crazy shit going on Halloween, so cops are always on high alert.
Yeah, although I gotta guess if it's Halloween, it might be the kind of thing that say, hey, this guy's scared me. It's like on Halloween in a costume. It's like, yeah, it's like, you sure it wasn't just a dude?
Yeah,
good for you.
Well, it's kind of like why the medical examiner at the end, he's like, Halloween never disappoints.
Sometimes full moons are crazy, and I can't explain that.
I think they'll come if you just say he's harassing people, or if you just want him off your property.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially a private business, yeah.
Of course, it's Art. He
does eventually do that. I guess it doesn't go well, but he does say, hey, you're out of here, after he, discovers all the poop.
Yeah.
It's like, did you do that? You got out of here.
I mean, as a restaurant manager, you got to kick the guy out at that part. Right?
Well, especially if you only got one bathroom, what else can you do?
I don't know.
Also, I want to say that him turning one of the employees' heads into a jack-o'-lantern was pretty.
Yeah, that was good.
One of the new, yeah, right. One of the new Halloween movies actually stole that idea. So, because Michael does that to one of the cops in one of the, I think it was the first Halloween movie in the new trilogy.
I will go to bat for the Rob Zombie Halloween movies those new ones any day. Like
Me too. I mean, maybe a little less so on the second one, but
the first one's great. actually, when we talk about Terrifier 3 next week, and by the way, you're welcome back then if you want, though. You don't have to come back if we don't
Oh
end
hell
up
yeah,
having
I'd
a
be
good
down.
time
I
here.
want to
But
talk about 3 so bad. Honestly, I've been trying to avoid spoilers.
I think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I think tries to do some of the stuff that Terrifier 3 does better when it comes to the psyche of the final girl.
That's fair.
If you've seen Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, you can maybe pick up on a little bit of that, but we'll get into more of that next week.
I mean, they both
Amanda
do a
Lynch
great
is
job
cool.
of displaying the trauma and stuff that both characters have gone through, especially in Terrifier 3. Like, they explore Sienna's trauma a lot more, and she actually really nails it and makes it really grounded. It's very believable.
Yeah, and that's why I think that having her as an actress for these, like once we get into 2, we'll talk about her more. I think was a big win. As big a win as having David. Sorry, what is Art's name again?
David Howard Thornton.
Howard Thornton. I almost said Horton, then something good. I'm
Horton
Canadian.
Who?
Tim Hortons is a coffee shop here that they're everywhere.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I was like. He's not Horton, is he? Right? But anyways, I think that they're both incredible actors for the material that they have to do in these movies. And
For sure, to carry the movies.
Yeah, and I think it's almost more impressive that Art does it without making any sound. Like, it's only facial expressions and body acting.
Yes. Wait, where were we? Oh yeah, he's just sitting around in the kebab shop and is kind of looking at them. He makes funny faces and then he shits all over the toilet, and eventually Tara and Dawn leave because he gets kicked out as well. So they now feel kind of sobered up. So their plan is to go back to the car and drive home.
Which also, I would have never stayed in that car alone as Dawn. I don't know what she was thinking, knowing that she was kind of being creeped on by this clown beforehand, even though she didn't take it seriously. Like, no way. Girls always go to the bathroom in pairs, at least. Like, come on, like, go with her. There's no way that I would have stayed behind, honestly.
Yeah, especially in a creepy warehouse.
Especially after your tire was slashed, too. There were so many red flags that they didn't take seriously.
Why wouldn't you lock the door? The
True.
hell's wrong with you?
True.
Just left the doors unlocked.
Maybe like forgetting about it because she's drunk. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes, but it's really hard because I'm hyper aware of situations like that. So I always make sure doors are locked and I'm always aware of my surroundings. So I don't know. But probably because they're drunk, I would assume. At least Dawn.
I still would have been like, yeah, you're not going in there alone. Or you're not leaving me out here alone.
The moment you saw him with the trash bag, my night would already be like wrought with unsettling thoughts.
Yeah. What is in the bag? Especially because it makes sound too. Like, you can tell there's metal in there.
Just the smile, dude. Just so creepy. Like, no way. Even if it was just a costume, that's not okay.
In any case, they see that the tire is slashed, and Tara calls her sister, right? She was that, yeah. And
yeah,
like,
Vicky is Tara's sister.
Vicky, can you pick us up? She's like, oh, I got 17 finals tomorrow or whatever, and I can't do it. But then another, like, I guess her roommate comes in with someone else, and they're about to have sexy times. She's like, you know what? I think getting out of here is it's probably a good idea. So I'm gonna come and pick you up.
Better idea than I thought it was a minute ago.
Yeah, things changed.
That was a strange scene. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were in here," and then they proceed.
They just go in.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, like, I've spent a fair amount of time living in military barracks, and sometimes stuff like that goes down, and you gotta just. But like, if it happens when you're trying to sleep and you need to wake up in the morning and do military shit, you just roll over and go to sleep.
But yeah, now they gotta wait for her to arrive, which obviously also puts them, for like movie wise, like, okay, we're in a timer now until reinforcements arrive, if you will. They don't know that yet, but Tara needs to pee. It's like, well, there's a guy over there. How about you ask him to go inside? But before we go inside there, we see the first killing happening, because Art goes back to the imbiss, the kebab shop, pizza shop, whatever it is, and well, as already mentioned, carves the one guy's head as a jack-o'-lantern. it's actually a pretty fun shot because they cut to the jack-o'-lantern and art just swoops up from below. He goes like,
It's so creepy. I love that
it's
shot.
actually pretty
like,
short. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think this one is
and, like,
fine to
just
show on
the-
YouTube, so I'm gonna give that
The
here.
shadowing on his face too, when he just like rises up with the cleaver. I'm like, oh no! Like sorry, I would have shit myself right there. Honestly.
Look at this.
Does anyone know what they shot this with?
Camera.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. No, but I knew other people like watched video essays and stuff. I just wondered if they knew offhand. It's fine.
Oh,
We don't need to know.
The only fun fact I know really about this movie, outside of some of the actors saying, "No, leave me tied up for hours on end so I can get the real feeling in," is that this
Oh man.
I don't know which part of the pizza place it is, but there is the single piece of CGI used in this is like for a fake pumpkin.
Okay.
And it's solely because the director said it didn't feel enough like Halloween, so I put a pumpkin in the parlor.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't notice that it was CGI. So I mean, I guess they did a good enough job to just have it be like background. I mean, did
think
you
it was
notice?
literally like a pumpkin sticker. I looked through the scene like 4 times. I'm like, what fucking pumpkin is he talking about?
It's a
I
sticker
think
of a pumpkin. You mean?
I literally think it is just
No,
a sticker of a pumpkin.
Well, I mean that's pretty like, especially if you're only adding it to like one shot. That's not a terribly difficult thing to do.
I mean, it's probably this one, I imagine. It's probably this one, because if you look at the reflection, that one looks a bit fake. Like the
Maybe?
reflection
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean
look
that
real.
could be it. Well, honestly, if I
But I
if
would have
I was
never,
gonna-
I would have never noticed that. I just didn't even look at it.
I
So
could
it's-
see. Well, I could see that being done, especially if there's. I wonder if there's actually. Oh, yeah, there probably would be glass over that. I don't know. I'm not sure how that would be done easily, but it seems like you could do it cheaply. Especially if that camera doesn't move. If the camera moves, it will get because you have to make sure that the reflection and the main image are tracking. Never mind. We don't have to get into the tech stuff. I know that's boring.
Well, yeah, that's like the only CGI in the entire movie is just that pumpkin. Everything else is practical.
Yeah. But yeah, the guy gets beheaded. The other guy gets his hand chopped in half. He gets a knife into his cheek. There's blood everywhere, and I definitely can't show this on YouTube.
Yeah, probably not.
That's gonna be a running theme. Like probably the goriest shot as well. I just can't show this because there's a lady getting sawed in half, and you can basically see it all. And it's it's awesome, amazing, and I can definitely not show this on YouTube.
100%. Yeah, that's Don't watch this movie with your kids, okay? Even if you think they're mature for their age, it's not. These are not movies for children at all.
My dad was
fine.
quite chill with me watching like more like grown-up stuff, but he would have not let me watch this.
Yeah, this is the movie that you would have to go behind your parents' back to watch.
I watched Freddy vs. Jason with my parents in the drive-in theater when I was 3 years old.
I think
Do you remember it?
That's the only earliest memory I have. Everything post that is 6 years old and on, but that one is just funny.
Mine's actually a drive-in one too. Like first movie I remember. Oh, actually no, not the first movie I remember going to. The first drive-in I remember going to was seeing Terminator 2 with my whole family, including my my little sister, who I think was 4. Like I don't think she was watching the movie though. To be fair.
Honestly, I don't even know if we have like drive-in cinemas in Germany. If so, there's very few of them. I don't know if that's even a thing.
I guess
definitely.
Well, I don't know. You guys do have like countrysides and
drive-in.
Really, all you need is a field and the desire to build one. They're not overly difficult.
Seems to be one in Cologne.
Oh, there you go.
That's the only one I find right now.
I mean, unless you have a car that you can get to Cologne, though.
I mean, I don't even have a license, so I don't even need to go there.
Oh, okay.
Unless I can go there with my bicycle, that would be nice.
Do you guys drive on the left side of the road or the right side?
Left.
We drive on both sides, just in different directions.
No, okay. Which direction are you going forward in?
Well, I mean, both sides are going forward.
Are you British-like or American-like the way you do
No, not
things
British.
over there?
When I go visit a longman, I'm always get scared when I'm in a car.
Okay.
I
Cool.
remember the
So-
first time I was over there and they went into the roundabout the wrong way for me. I was like, oh shit! It's like, oh no, wait, that's normal. That's normal here. It's fine.
I was going somewhere with this. If I ever visit you in Germany, we will rent a car and drive to the drive-in in Cologne.
Oh, okay.
But seriously, if you drove on the other side of the road, I'd be like, no, fuck that.
No, we're like
I think-
non-American, non-British.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I think my dad, when he was in Germany, he bought a car. There's a funny story where he bought a car, but he had to go back to the UK because that's where he was stationed, and so they had a whole big thing about trying to get the car back to the UK. And yeah, he always said he liked Germany because they drove on the correct side of the road.
Nice. We're now getting introduced to a character who, or at least he was on screen a moment ago, who I think had a much bigger role than I expected. Because like the janitor, or sorry, the fumigator.
Yeah, he's Mike the Exterminator.
Yeah, Mike.
I think it's
Mike, yeah.
But yeah,
Here though, also I think she made another stupid mistake here because he's like, "Do you want me to wait for you?" And she's like, "No, I know the way out." I'd be like, "No, that's a
True.
Even if you just got lost, like if your memory accidentally failed you, you might end up lost in a building that's getting filled with poison. That you know
Yay.
that much. Also, creepy clowns about.
But yeah, she's
And creepy building.
Yeah, she's in the creepy building where the fumigator is setting up things, and she needs to do a pee, and then she goes in there to do a pee while Dawn is waiting inside the car alone, just listening to the radio, where she hears.
Honestly,
there was a horrible.
I'm sorry, but
Yes.
girls should just, open both car doors and just pee right there. Like instead
Yeah,
of going into
go
a
for it.
creepy
Pop a
building.
squad.
Honestly, yeah, if no one was around, so like, why would it matter? But she would have avoided so many issues and like
Yeah.
scary scenarios just not going into that building.
Or at least made it a little bit harder for Art.
Yeah,
That's
a little
awesome.
bit, yeah.
I think I also probably would have called a cab long before I called my sister.
True,
in that
because she
scenario.
had to
It's just-
trek down there. Like she was
had a-
not close.
God, you guys, you're so right. They had fucking phones. Why didn't they call a cab or an Uber?
Well, Tara's
the
phone
fuck?
was dead. She had to use Dawn's phone.
Yeah.
They still had a phone.
Yeah.
Which, well, that at least they use that. The fact that it is just the one phone.
I have to look up when Uber started. Hold on.
But in any case, she's in the creepy building, and in the car, Dawn is listening to the radio. It's like, there was a horrible murder in this imbus you were just a couple of minutes ago. It's like, oh, that's bad. And then you hear the door open and close, and Artie is in there. And yeah, we'll see Dawn later, but she's in trouble.
Actually, not gonna have a good day.
No, she's. Tara's just going through the creepy building, finding the way out, I guess. And finds this other crazy lady that is is she just here to be creepy? I don't remember if she had any other role except being creepy.
She's just a bum in
Yeah.
the building.
She's labeled as cat lady. You never see her with a cat.
There's no cats in this movie, I'm pretty sure.
You hear a cat.
Oh,
but I
okay.
don't think you ever see it.
There
And
is a
then when
cat.
you
see it.
find her, she's like homeless with a fake doll, thinking it's her baby.
Okay,
So-
something worth mentioning about the crazy lady with the doll is that the pale little girl in the second movie, her the girl that gets killed and becomes the demon that works with Art or whatever, her name is Emily Crane, and the doll that the lady is holding in the first one is named Emily. So I
Okay.
don't know if there is a like connection with that, if like that's her mother or something like that, but that is definitely something I noticed on the news clipping of like the murder of the little girl in the second one. So I was like, because technically the little girl is Art's first victim. So I don't know if that's where the demonic transference happened, like because the pale little girl gets possessed in the second movie and works with him. So, like, I don't know if it can just take forms of his victims or whatever. Like, demons have to possess vessels and stuff. So, I don't know if that's related at all, if it's just a coincidence that the baby doll is named Emily, but just an interesting thing.
We can definitely talk about the rules
too.
of the girl, I think, in the laundromat scene. We can have a conversation about when we get to 2. But yeah, I thought I didn't know that the creepy lady had a lore connection like that, so that's cool to learn. But I think she's one of the weaker parts of this movie. And
True.
she's barely in there. I
She's just kind of like a harbinger, you know?
Yeah.
She's just like, he's down here killing people. You need to call the cops.
Okay, just real quick. There was a cat. This is bothering me. Everyone's saying there wasn't a cat. There was a cat. Okay, it was in one of those flashy scenes, and the cat's like eating her makeup.
How many cats?
She was
2?
away.
Was it the same cat?
Is the cat in the room with us right now?
Is she a cat lady if she only has one cat though?
Ooh, that's a fair
I mean,
question.
I guess technically.
Yeah,
Right?
I guess.
I mean, like, you're a dog person if you have one dog, aren't you?
Yeah, that's fair. Usually they're just portrayed as crazy cat women with like a bunch of cats.
Because I don't remember seeing a cat, but I know for sure there's at least like 2 or 3 sound effects of a cat.
Yes, the cat is eating some of the gore. I remember that. You're right.
Delicious.
We forgot one key detail though. I don't think it's worth calling her a crazy cat lady because she's also carrying around a doll who she's treating like an actual baby.
That's a bit crazier.
Yeah, that's it. Like, her identity will not be cats, even if she's infamous for something.
Someone in chat just said, I hope Art washed his hands after drawing in shit in the pizza place.
Mans has blood on his hands at all times. I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of poop and blood and whatever else is on his hands.
He washes himself in 2 though, which I think is really funny.
That's true. And in 3, honestly. That's something that made me laugh in 3 is that he will take his time to, like, there's a moment where he's using a urinal and he actually washes his hands after he uses that urinal. And I was like, what?
Okay, look, okay, if I'm going to go around killing people, I want to be clean at the start of it.
Yeah. So I could see how much progress I made when I look down on myself.
He's trying to be prim and proper, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess also your weapons can start getting difficult to hold if your gloves are full of shit, you know?
True. I feel like with all the grime on his gloves, though, he's got a pretty good grip.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
It's so gross.
I know.
Just got to not be fresh, which is why I think rinsing off the large bits, you know, that'll help, right?
Ugh.
The viscera, you know.
Dude, that beginning of the second Terrifier movie where he's in the laundromat and then he gets genuinely sad when the washing machine just stops. He's like,
yeah.
So yeah, Dawn has been captured at this point, and he's going after Tara. She's like kind of looking around, talks to the crazy lady. It's like, no, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. And then she sees him in the door and starts running away. And it's like a good old classic killer chases the girl scene through like a parking. I think they're like in a parking lot or a garage or something of that big house. And yeah, she gets stabbed in the leg or almost in the foot, and he goes in there. He goes like he almost saws in there with like I think he has a scalpel here. If I see that correctly.
Yeah, he goes kind of nuts with that.
Yeah, and he just kind of goes like.
Here he just has a scalpel. Also, I thought he uses a scalpel later on. Does he use one here too?
I think it is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking of his personalized Cat 9. Which does have a scalpel and all kinds of stuff on it.
Oh yeah, no, I that's its own thing, and we will talk about that.
You can see it here when he gets in this frame, which is also fantastic, by the way.
Yeah,
like
this is the part I was kind of talking about.
Like,
I didn't realize that this was before this chase.
No, it's right. This leads right into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because this is the scene I was waiting for, and that I think him only having a scalpel.
Yeah.
It's not super scary, but the look on his face and how still he is makes it terrifying.
Right, and he's confident enough to use something as small as a scalpel, so that's also scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like, oh my god, what's he gonna do with that?
Well, scalpels are scary on their own because they're extremely sharp. Yeah, they're sharper than normal knives.
Are nasty.
Yeah, you can sharpen up a knife pretty sharp, but yeah, I did like scalpels. You don't want to accidentally move in a way you don't want to with one. I'll say that much.
Art
Oh.
is also fascinating because of his choice of weapons. Like nothing is off limits to him.
Oh,
Even like
whatever.
seeing him with like a gun is pretty
That-
jarring because
yeah.
you're just like he's definitely more personal killer. Like I figured he would pick a blade or something over a gun, but no, he won't hesitate to bust a cap in your ass.
That
I
fucking
actually,
scene, we get there soon. I laughed
I
so
really-
fucking hard. I couldn't
And
believe that
honestly,
happened.
I
It's
I
so
know,
good.
right?
I
He does her
I
so
loved that.
dirty, dude.
Well,
I love
here's
that
the
he
big
pulled
thing.
out a gun because I really didn't see that coming.
No, it was
Like, it
great.
was just all of a sudden he's just mowing people down with a semi-automatic too.
Oh, I
It
don't
doesn't
even mean
look
this
like a
one.
clown gun, right?
I mean here in the first one, like
Yeah,
when he.
just pulls it
No,
out of his
no,
boot.
no, the semi-automatic pistol. Like he has a mag-fed pistol. Not
Oh,
like
right,
a,
yeah, so-
a
sure.
snub-nosed revolver
I
that
already
looks
heard-
like a thing a clown might have.
I-
It's just he pulls out a normal-ass handgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Art
by
with
the
the
way,
Glock.
this starts into more of his MO and how he operates, because you can tell how and why he kills people the way he does. Like at the pizza parlor, the owner compared to the worker is two completely different manners, and as he kills these wonderful ladies later on, you see how dependent on both what they do to him versus what others do, he completely changes how he kills someone, which adds, I think, a lot of personality to him.
Agreed. And it's like I said before, he derives a lot of pleasure from killing people, so he probably just wants to switch it up and make it like the most creative way possible to like make it so ridiculous and funny to him.
And it's
Well-
just nice that it's always clear there's a lot of thought put into the kills here. Like they don't seem random and just let's do this crazy for the
True.
sake
Because
of
there's
it. It's
nothing
like-
worse than a slasher with boring kills, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween. So yeah, but when we get to that gun scene in this later on, you see how he has a complete attitude change.
Oh yeah, he's just annoyed. He's like, okay, I'm done now. Boom. That's fucking great.
In the chat, I want to see Art fight Batman.
But yeah, he chases Tara around. She fights back a little bit. She gets a hold of the scalpel he puts on the side while he tries to just squeeze her eyes out, basically. So she gets away for a bit and she finds Mike, but he's blasting music on his I don't know, his iPod, his phone, or whatever.
The scene's so, it's kind of sad.
And then he turns around after he thinks he hears something, but they're already gone because Art grabbed Tara, put some needle flame in his in her neck, which is like some tranquilizer or whatever. And then we get to this scene, which I can absolutely not show on YouTube. So Tara's chained up in the basement. He's like going through his sack of weapons. He's like, "Oh, should I use the little hatchet, or should I
Tara's
use?"
chained up in a very traditional manner to a chair.
Yeah, to a chair. And he's like kind of pretending to start to hit her, and with whatever he has, and he's like, "Yeah, just kidding. How about this one? No, just kidding." He's he's just enjoying himself. He likes to torture people. And then he gets a very gross and rusty saw, which I think still has some residue blood from whoever he used it against last.
Absolutely rife with tetanus.
Oh, it's you don't want to even look at that. You probably get a sickness by just. Yeah,
And that makes what he does to Dawn that much worse.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So he puts the saw on his. I think she doesn't mind if it's. I think she wouldn't have a better time. It would be a clean saw, to be honest. But
yeah, I don't think
No,
the
it would be
tetanus really matters
faster.
at this point.
It would be faster.
probably, yeah. But yeah, he gets the saw, puts it to Tara's throat, and is like, you know what? I have a better idea. And he gets away a big tarp, and you just see Dawn completely naked, hanging
Chained up
upside
in a
down.
very non-traditional manner.
Yeah. And he
With
just
legs spread apart, hanging by the legs with her hands tied behind her back. She's like a big letter Y.
Pretty much, yeah. And he just starts sawing in the middle and goes almost all the way through. I think she's just connected
halfway
by
through, like three
the head.
quarters of the way through the head.
Yeah.
From the bottom, like through the neck.
And he just keeps sawing, and he's having a great time. He's like, "Oh, look at this!" Ooh, and you see like guts falling out and everything, and it's really gross.
Yeah.
Do you think that Art would have shown a little bit more mercy with the way he killed Dawn if she wasn't so obnoxious with him? Like sitting on his lap and taking selfies with him and booping his nose and
Might
all
have
that
been
stuff.
faster.
Yeah, might have been faster. I think
Maybe,
he
but
totally
I can't
made
tell
it
with
worse.
this. I can't tell with that guy. He might just enjoy sawing people in half.
True. She
Yeah,
just
he
got
might-
it so much worse than Tara did, you know?
Yeah, because the last thing when you see him about to finish up the sawing, he just is. Well, I say laughing. He's like mute laughing. He goes like ha 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 ha, but he's not making any sounds. Like he's having a great time. He's like, yeah, I'm sawing. And like, see, you get like close-ups of the head like being split apart and everything. It's very visceral, and you definitely don't get shit like this anymore today. From most movies or whatever, big budget productions. I think I don't think there's any big budget productions that do gore like this at the moment.
The closest would probably be Saw, as far as like the biggest and the closest to this kind of gore. But I think the purpose of the gore here being less, what would be the word for it? Like I don't know, a torture sequence and more just to kill. I think puts this more in the slasher movie genre than the gore porn thing. Like I wouldn't say, hey, if you like Hostel and Saw, watch Terrifier. But if you said my favorite movies ever were like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream, I would definitely recommend this to them.
Yeah.
Like over the Saw people. If those, I mean, are there Saw people? I guess so. I mean, there's a lot of them, right?
11. We watched them all on EFAB. Go check out.
I think I've
the
only seen up
recordings.
to 6. 6, I think, was the last one I saw.
But unlucky for the Art, or maybe lucky, maybe enjoys the hunt. The chair he has is an old rickety chair, and she's been like wailing around in it, and one of the armrests goes up, breaks off, I mean, and she can make another escape. And while she's doing that, Victoria arrives. The reinforcements are here. Also, she punches him in the face with like the armrest, I think, and then stabs him in the back. So he's getting injured here as well, but he doesn't really seem to mind that much. He seems to be fine-ish, but he does feel pain. And then we are about to get to see. I just remember the way we get there. So they basically have like a 1v1 almost. She just starts. She gets some bravery going, and she uses like a big floorboard or whatever it was, and just starts punching the living shit out of him. He goes like, "Ah,
fighting back.
My leg," and he's just, "Oh God, are you gonna punch me again?"
He hits him right in the dick with that board, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Why would you do this to me?"
And then he falls on the ground. He's like on one of his knees, and he just looks at her, and then just gets out the fucking pistol and shoots her right in the leg.
It's like so much worse because like she's beating his ass, right? And then he falls over, and then she's like, "Get up!"
Yeah,
Get up."
she's
That's the
getting.
first time when I was yelling at
She
the screen,
taunts
like,
him,
beat
and
his
that
fuck,
was
like,
not
kill
a good
him.
idea.
Fucking kill
Never
him.
ever taunt the aggressor. Just
Yeah.
go
Kill
for the
the
kill.
aggressor.
She should have.
Yeah.
She should have just started wailing more. She got just like, "Yeah, I got this in the bag," and he's like, "Yeah, no, actually," and just fucking shoots her.
Like she could have ended the movie right then and there.
I know.
But no.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I fucking laughed my ass off because I was at the same place as you were as well. It was like, "Oh, there's the cat. I found the cat. It's right there."
Oh yeah,
I told you.
Was like, "Why are you fucking taunting him? What is happening?" And then he just shoots her. I was losing my shit. I was laughing so hard. It's amazing.
I think I said you deserved that.
You deserve
Like,
that.
you deserve that. You fucked around. That's what you get.
You got cocky and then you got shot. Yeah, it's quite funny. I had a great time when this happened, and then he just unloads the whole mag in her, and she's donezo.
Oh, not yet. Actually,
Oh.
This is the worst part. He shoots 3 bullets. Either the last one misfires, or I think his
pistol is just empty. I think because he goes and needs to. He's getting annoyed by this. It's so funny. He starts shooting her and gets to the face, shoots her in one of her cheeks, and he's like, "What's to shoot again?" It's like click. It's like, ah, like he's like visibly annoyed. He just does like the gestures, like, oh, God damn it! And now I need to get a new fucking mag or something.
Yeah, because the only satisfaction he got was the first time he shoots her, because he tricked her and and then after that, it's a straight deadpan face because she's annoyed him to such a degree that he's like, "This isn't fun anymore."
Yeah. It's so funny because he walks away and you can see him shaking his head all the way to the fucking He's like, God, I can't believe this just happened. He's almost dead.
Yeah, I love how he's like, he throws his hands up and he's like, finally, basically.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
And he goes to his garbage sack and is like, oh, there must be an extra magazine in here somewhere.
Yeah, and originally I'm like, what kind of fucking idiot only has 3 bullets in the gun? But this is to facilitate him going back to Dawn stuff, which you see he's rifled through for both cash and whatever she has. And that's when Victoria texts on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, oh, where are you? It's like, oh, I'm in the back parking lot or whatever he writes. And he also takes the selfie with the
that
that
was a nice touch.
with Dawn being sawed up completely. He's like, hey! And then he goes back to Tara and shoots her finally. It's like, boom, straight in the brain juices.
Rip.
Yeah.
Imagine the investigator finding Dawn's phone and seeing the selfies from the pizza place and then the selfie of her from Art.
Oh my God. Yeah, it'd be a tough job as a detective.
Right?
Yeah. Send
like, whoa, that's
Russ
dark.
Cole from some Matthew McConaughey from True Detective season 1 would be the guy to show that to. He's just nihilistic enough to be able to handle it.
Yeah, when he kills Tara this time, he just mag dumps the whole thing into her face.
Yeah.
He does not. And his face is just as deadpan too. He's like, no,
Yeah.
this wasn't fun.
I would on stream
For real,
right now.
I really felt bad for her in that moment because she went through so much getting away from Art, and then it felt kind of cheap just for him to mag dump into her and just be like, all right, it's over. Like,
I mean,
the moment
like
she got a little bit of bravery too, the moment that she was standing up to him and being like, all right, let's fucking go, bro. And then he just shoots her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's she almost made it. She almost became the protagonist of the film, but yeah, she was a mid-movie victim.
She got cocky, and then she got fucking shut up.
But then her sister shows up.
Yeah, she's here.
Not quite.
And also the hobo lady tries to tell Mike, it's like, hey, we need to call the police. Like, go away, crazy lady. And then he gets battered on the head with a hammer.
I thought the actress did a lot better in this scene actually than anything she had done previously. I like the scene where she's trying to get Mike's help.
True.
I think the most unbelievable part is the fact he accidentally let Mike live.
Did he get like no? He just leaves, right? I was just thinking if something happened, but he just punches up his phone and then leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, because he called his partner, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he probably went down to find what's her name?
The hobo lady. Well, first he goes for the hobo lady because he got the doll and he's like cradling the doll. And she's like, did you never had love and stuff like that? And he's like, yay, love, I want that. Because
Just
I'm
kidding.
sad.
I wonder if Vicky went into the creepy building like with a hunch that something was wrong because obviously no one's answering the phone and she heard the broadcast on the radio on the way to pick up Tara and Dawn about Art the Clown. and how he was like still loose after the murders at the pizza place. So I was wondering, like, she was not stealthy about it though. She went into the building and she was like calling out for Tara and Dawn and stuff. She could have had a better chance if she didn't make Art aware of her presence, you know?
Right, for sure. And then Mike's co-worker comes around with more equipment, but he can't reach him obviously because the phone is broken, and he's just kind of annoyed.
Yeah, this guy's essentially the movie's red shirt, though. He pretty much just, he shows up only to get killed. He doesn't really have an impact on anything.
He almost lives until he decides to look underneath the carpet.
Yeah,
he was about to leave.
Guess, wait, is he the one? No, he brought the truck. So yeah, his presence does have another effect. The truck.
Victoria makes her way to the basement and sees Dawn, or whatever is left of her, hanging upside down. And then we get another nice close up of the cut open thingy, and she's just kind of yelling for her sister, but she can't find anyone except she thinks she found a lady that needs help, but it's actually Art who cut off the hobo lady's boobs and wears them in a wig, and then starts.
Oh, he scalped her too. It's not
and
a wig.
Scalped her too. Oh yeah, not a wig. That's
the top of her head.
That's true. He's a troll. He's a little troll.
He sure is. Especially riding a little tricycle around.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I think also like the way he carries himself when he's in his full suit. I wasn't expecting him to be this like wiry. Like he's got a very, very thin body.
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty common of at least the slashers I've seen.
Keep that up, because he doesn't just cut the boobs and her hair off. He cuts off one more part.
What is it?
Huh?
The undergarments part when he's walking up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't really notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either until I replayed it the other day. And I'm like, because the way he's walking is very weird. And then you see all the blood down there. It's like,
okay.
Oh, I thought he was just tucking.
Yeah, straight up Buffalo behavior.
But yeah, he's having a great time. He's like playing with the hair, walking around, basically completely naked right now, but with skin on top of him right now of the hobo lady. And
he's doing a great Buffalo Bill impression.
Right. And he's about to get her, but then he hears the knocking on the door because the coworker's like, Mike, where the fuck are you? But before he's about to leave, he's like, wait, maybe under the mattress. Not the mattress, the fucking...
Carpet.
Doormat, there you go. We got there eventually.
Yeah.
He's like, there's the key. And then he goes in there. It's like, Mike, where are you?
He could have lived.
Even then, I meant rug, not carpet.
That's fine. And he basically finds some blood on the floor, checks it out, and then gets his head cut off, and that's it for him.
Well, he gets like the quickest death in the movie possible. He gets piked in the head and decapitated.
Yeah.
Yeah, still very brutal though.
Yeah, pour one out for Mike. He was almost the hope.
Oh, Will. That one's Will.
That's Will.
Oh, Will. Got it.
Mike is currently unconscious on the staircase. Yeah, this guy just gets.
I didn't see him coming back. To be fair,
same.
They did get me with Mike not being dead.
But yeah, that guy just gets beheaded, and he kicks his head away from him. That's basically it for the guy. Victoria tries to get away more, and then Art is just going around on his little tricycle, as already mentioned. He's just going in tiny circles full of blood. It's fun. It's fun. It wouldn't be fun if you would be in a situation, but looking at it from a movie, pretty funny.
Well, the funniest part too is he accidentally runs into the stairs and stumbles. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And he gets back up on it and rides out. He's like, "Well, they fucked this up."
Yeah, another really creepy shot is when she's hiding in the cabinet and you can see Art through the crack, and he's like she's not sure if he knows where she's at, and
Yeah.
he's kind of like walking back and forth, and then all of a sudden he notices her and points at her and is like, "Ah, you're in there! I knew it! I knew it!"
And then he goes a bit crazy, and then as well, making all the sounds. Then he goes to check that out.
Yep.
Pretty fun. But yeah, Victoria's just trying to get away more, she's trying to hide, but she gets grabbed and almost gets suffocated. But she's smart enough to rip the plastic, which I like to see.
The version of this scene too is so good because she's looking at a hole that's in front of her right before the exit. She's like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to do this," and then he just walks up right behind her after showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hesitation. Like she could be thinking, "Wow, had I just not said, am I crawling in there and just done it, I might have been okay."
Yeah. But yeah, he has like a piece of plastic, and he flips her off. Right, I forgot about that. This is what I mean. This is really funny shit. So he's trying to suffocate
the plastic. He stares at the plastic like, what the hell?
Yeah, I can't believe she actually
like,
did
you
that.
weren't supposed to break.
It's funny. I wonder if the maker of the movies were like, that's like a trope where they put like plastic bags on them and no one ever breaks them, and she's like just breaks it after like a I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, and he just looks at us like, I can't believe she actually did that. And then she finds like a spike on the floor, puts it in his foot, and
that was a good move.
Yeah, she crawls away, and he just flips her off. Let me get the frame. It's really funny. He's like, "Ow, my foot."
Because that wordless scream looks like genuinely in pain, and
look at this.
Like, there's no sound.
It's so funny. Like, stupid bitch. But yeah, then we see
there's
Mike.
A personality there.
Mike is still around. He's still alive. He was just unconscious. And wait, did I skip over Mike? Oh yeah, he's going to his trying to get to his phone, but it's obviously broken. But he's still around. And then we see Tara being propped up, having like a sign that says "circus" on it, with all the holes in her face. She's kind of dead. And then Artie arrives and has the I guess like a chain thingy with knives on it. I don't even know.
It's a
cat and nine tails made of
okay.
sharp implements like scissors and scalpels, and you wouldn't want to get hit by that thing.
No.
Do you know what a cat o' nines is, Metal? Or
yeah, normally has like more things of those, because this has only 2, so I wasn't sure if
a whip that looks like a horse tail, kind of.
Yeah.
It's basically a whip that's split into 9, and it was used to lash people with the knots at the end of it. You see it in what's the show I just watched before? The Terror. That's what it's called. They used the cat o' nines in the Terror.
You watched the Terror after watching Terrifier?
Oh no, I watched the Terror before this. It's great.
Before watching. You watched the Terror, then you became terrified.
But yeah, Mike to the rescue. Mike's here. He knocks him out, and he tries to get them to safety. And it's like, I'm gonna go to this phone over there and call the police. And she's obviously panicking. It's like, no, don't leave me alone. It's like, no, it's all cool. I'm just gonna go over there. It's like right over there. And he tries to. Well, he doesn't try to call the police. He does get the police on the phone. And he's like, go here, you fuckers. He's like, no, I'm not going to wait here. I'm going to get her to an emergency room. And big mistake. That's going to get him killed now. Because, yeah, they leave. Yeah. But the police now knows something is up here.
Yeah.
And I think...
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, it's another scene where, like, he hits Art and then he leaves. It's like, no. Keep hitting him.
Keep hitting him.
Please, don't. Okay.
The thing is, I would be fine with it if they would just be more chill here and wait for the police, actually, instead of just randomly trying to go somewhere. Because he just kind of misses Art getting next to him, and then you just get killed by him. They would probably have been safer if they would just waited in a room and barricaded themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because he gets his head kicked in and his neck broken. I think.
Very big clown shoe.
He has very big and heavy clown shoes, yeah. And he's laughing again because he's having a great time killing people. And then she just tries to kind of run away. She knocks open the lock. She goes outside. Wait, does she go outside and then back inside? Yeah. She goes into like the keep out thingy. It's like, I'm gonna hide here. And then she hears the police sirens, checks it out, but Art is in the car and just runs her over pretty much.
Hits her pretty good with a big truck.
That fucking troll.
Yeah, that was like another one of those moments where Tara got shot. Like he just runs her over with the car. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
And he has the radio playing and he's jamming to it.
Yeah, it's like, hell yeah. And then the police arrive, and when they arrive, they see that he's eating her face off. Literally.
Yeah.
And he looks so annoyed too.
Yeah.
Man's gotta eat.
He's like, I just want to eat. And he's like, put your hands up. He's like, fine, I put one of my hands up. And then he tries to grab the gun and shoot them, but he gets fucking blasted immediately.
No, he shoots himself.
No, he shoots
Yeah.
himself.
Oh, he shoots himself. Sorry. Yeah, I'm stupid.
Yeah, I wish he got blasted. Those cops sucked.
And yeah, that's that. GG all over the place. And then
We got one more scene.
they get them to the coroner. This office does not look like a coroner's office, I'm pretty sure. This is like some random
Hey, look, you gotta do what you gotta do when you have
I know. This was like the one thing that stood out to me. It's like, this looks, they just didn't have a good room for this, so they had to use this.
It's another room in the same warehouse they shot the rest of it.
It's the cheapest morgue possible.
And he's like, oh, thanks for giving me more work. Can you give me a coffee? And they'll just kind of have some banter and stuff. It's fine. And it's like,
He wants something with bacon in it.
Yeah, it's like, really bacon when you see this? Oh, if you've seen a 8-month-old getting melted in a fucking, I don't know, microwave you haven't seen, this is nothing. And they're like, oh, why did you tell us that?
That's based on a real thing, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yeah, a woman lost her stuff and she microwaved her baby, which is not a happy
Thank you for
thought.
reminding me of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Trying to have a good time here, goddammit.
Oh, it's great time, little dad.
Like my violence fantasy, okay?
He's about to check the Artie's body, and then everything starts to flicker. It's like, that's weird. And then it's like, he's alive. It's like, oh no. Yeah. And he's alive. We got something happened, and I guess the idea is he somehow got like possessed by some kind of demon or something. That's my idea, at least from what I've known. So
he's obviously undead at this point, so there has to be some kind of supernatural thing going on.
Yeah, I like that they introduced the supernatural thing at the end here without giving it away earlier on. Although I guess, like, are you guys saying that the art for this movie was just a normal human psychopath killer, and then he only got possessed after shooting himself in the head?
I mean, that's what I would think, because it does like the whole flickering here. We didn't have like this crazy supernatural stuff so far. I mean, I think the other supernatural stuff you could say is him being like super good against pain. Like his pain threshold is like immensely high because he gets like stabbed multiple times and shit like that.
Well, I have a theory, but it talks about a little bit of what happens in Terrifier 3, but we know that Vicky is an antagonist in Terrifier 3 already without spoiling anything. So we know that... Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know that she's kind of possessed supernaturally, too. Like some kind of demon entity is in her, just like Art as well. So what I'm thinking is when a callback to what I was saying earlier about why does Vicky all of a sudden become evil? You know, I'm thinking that something happened between Art and Vicky when he was mutilating her to where his evil transference infected her because the demon needs hosts and stuff. So like that's kind of why she becomes like the second antagonist, like a sidekick to Art, I guess.
Right.
But like that's kind of like what I think happens at the end, because you are given the impression that he's just a regular guy, like a maniacal serial killer. But there's something deeper there that they reveal right at the end, and I think it involves both Vicky and Art.
Yeah, well, because the big thing too is the director has said Art didn't know he was going to come back to life at this.
Yeah, so that kind of makes it seem like he did not realize he had demon capabilities, or they was just the human Art.
Which I wish they portrayed that more, particularly in the second one, since the second one picks up right after this.
I guess
Well-
I was sorry. I suppose my understanding up until like right now really was that he was just always the demon that can like not be killed really. And
Well, I'm
yeah,
thinking when he shoots himself, like, does he think that he's gonna go out? Because why would he shoot himself if he knew that he was unkillable? You know, like I'm thinking he was like killing himself to get out of being arrested. You know, thinking
Yeah.
that this would be an escape, but he realizes when he wakes up in the morgue that oh, I'm not dead. I'm actually possessed, and you can't kill me. So
I guess I kind of thought that what he did was kill himself so that they would think he's dead, take him to the morgue, and then be able to escape, knowing
that's
that he can
fair.
come back to
That's
life.
a good theory too.
That's sort of the way. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a theory. It's just how I understood it when I watched
Yeah,
it.
My
I mean
my
it's
big thing
ambiguous.
is
So
you would probably have to watch All Hallows Eve because I didn't get the chance to watch it because I was tired. Yeah, I know there's some cult related stuff in All Hallows Eve dealing with art. So
it is
it's
very fantasy from the beginning, like even from the short films, like the Ninth Circle. It's very hellish, obviously. So there has to be some kind of like religious, supernatural thing going on with demons. And like I said, they explore that in Terrifier 3 a bit more.
because it could be
Here,
potential
though, like
that he caught something from that earlier film and those shorts, and he didn't know it. So when jump into this, when he comes back, you're like, oh, all right,
No.
whatever, fuck it.
Also, keep going. I'll be right back.
Oh, he's a little pissed
all right,
off.
so I guess we can kind of wrap up Terrifier 1 now and start moving on to Terrifier 2 if everyone's cool with that. I'm assuming
Ready.
Metal might be, but he's peeing right now.
Oh yeah.
Does
the
anyone
movie-
have any final thoughts on the first one though? That you want to kind of put a button on our little quick analysis of that one?
The movie ends with the reveal being Vicky 1 year later.
Oh
And it
yeah,
shows
okay. So I
Dr.
guess we do
Nickel.
still have that one scene left. You're right. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like I always kind of process that as being at the beginning of the movie, but
Yeah, they circle back
chronologically it's at the end,
basically.
and then they just tie it back to be like, yeah, Vicky was that person. I sort of got that when he was eating her face, though.
Yeah,
like,
because
oh, okay.
like I mean that's when you get the first taste of yeah, she's really evil and something has to be going on because like yeah, I can understand her snapping on the reporter like after what she's gone through and stuff, but she goes in like art, you know, like mutilates the
Mhm.
woman's face and stuff, kind of like the same treatment she got from art. So that's why I was like, this is like next level. Like I understand snapping, but then going full Art the Clown on this woman, like yeah, there's something deeper there. Like she must be like possessed or something, or like in cahoots with art somehow.
Well, yeah, and I guess they do set that up as being a possibility by having the morgue scene be before that.
Right.
Because like it's like okay, well there is supernatural things going on because the back of his head was blown out and it's still blown out and he just got up and killed someone anyways.
Right. You just don't see it because you don't see any kind of transference between Art and Vicky before he shoots himself, you know. He's just kind of trying to kill her and mutilating her face. So that's why you're like, did this happen? Or but then it kind of confirms that when she attacks the interviewer. So
Maybe it has something to do with when he actually eats people.
yeah, maybe. That could be something they answer in 4.
Very
I'm
possibly.
rewatching the beginning of the second movie. Art visibly like touches his head, a little like what? The
Yeah.
hell?
Like, does he get stronger eating people? Like,
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
maybe
know.
eating your flesh allows him to transfer. I don't know, like, is it? No, I guess because it wouldn't have been the soul of the. Is the little girl ever corporeal in the second movie? Like, or is she always just a vision?
I think she's always just a vision.
Well,
Which is
Sienna
really
can
weird.
see her. Not just oh,
And
and also
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan can see her too.
Yeah,
But those
but
are the-
can she?
those are
Does
the
she
only two.
affect the world physically?
All right.
No.
Hello.
She
Okay.
touches Sienna and influences.
I
and
mean, it's
tricks her
odd because the man
mentally.
doesn't see her in the laundromat. So
Yeah.
somehow Jonathan and Sienna can only see her besides Art. So
Although them being able to see them being able to see her does kind of make a bit of sense considering that they're both the kids of the dad who
that's true.
we know in Terrifier 2 even we know something's going on with the dad because he clearly was drawing sketches of a lot of the things that are like happening and he knows art and like
Like
drew
a
him years
prophecy or
before.
something.
Yeah, exactly. They do give you little hints of that before 3. But Metal, I guess we're moving on to 2. Do you have any thoughts about the that last scene where it loops back and shows us that the girl at the beginning was Vicky?
Did we talk about this already?
No. But it ends with that being like it ends with a callback to that, because that's the only scene that you were not here for us talking about.
I mean, I did hear you start talking about it. I don't really have anything else to add to this.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
So
no,
are we ready to move on to 2?
The first movie does confirm that I think 90 minutes is the perfect time for a horror movie.
Yeah, it was I really liked the pacing on the first one.
I agree, and that was actually one of the biggest criticisms of 2, is that it was too long. A lot of people said like they included too much stuff, but honestly, like I didn't mind it because like the third one is over 2 hours as well, and I was kind of sucked in the entire time. So it really just depends on what you see as like unnecessary, like and not. But I don't know. I like the second one. I think like pretty much everything in it was mostly necessary. Some stuff could have been cut out, but
I
I think a few scenes could have been shortened, but for the most part, I didn't have a problem with the length. It definitely doesn't move nearly as snappy as the first one, though. I mean, it's basically a different kind of movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I think what happened probably is you have an expectation from 1, and then 2 is like, you know, it's longer, has more of everything, so people
right, bigger and better.
It's like that's not what I wanted. I wanted basically the first movie, but again,
right,
but a little bit different, because that seems to happen a lot with things. Yeah, so that's why I imagine people were like, it's too long, because I was feeling it was kind of long, because I was like, oh, the first movie was already over. We're still going? Okay. Guess we're doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm someone that prefers more of like a grounded, realistic slasher, but I didn't mind the supernatural turn in the second one. There were things I was a little confused about before watching the third one, but and I was like, sort of maybe could be considered a cop out a little bit, but like it was nice for the third one to them to make it still has supernatural elements, but like it's definitely feels more grounded, kind of like the first one does. So I like that they're keeping like the balance of both of that.
Well, I think gradually introducing elements of the supernatural is generally an effective way to do that in stories, because you could, I guess, make the argument it's like, oh, they're doing supernatural stuff, I guess that's dumb, and I'm sure a lot of people would have that reaction. But as long as you're telling a story that is ultimately going to be interesting for people to watch, I think it's fine to go supernatural. And I think that if you're going
there's plenty of classics that are supernatural, like Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, like a lot of that isn't realistic. Like you can't, there's no guy haunting you when you're sleeping in your dreams, you know what I mean? Getting transferred between worlds, you know, there's a lot of supernatural there. And like Damien Leone is a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, especially the first film. So that's why a lot of his stuff is clearly influenced by it. And just like the practical effects, he's a big Tom Savini fan too. So all of his practical effects are very
It's the Tom Savini cameo in the third one.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing gif, like, oh my god, Tom Savini.
But I think that I think that this movie justifies its length pretty well because of how focused it is on the story and the characters more than the action, which was like, action's a weird word to use for it, but essentially the first one was all action. Like it's all a scary guy hunting people down and scary scenes that are tense.
Action. Yeah.
We're not spending time getting to know the characters and their wants and desires and who they are as people. We're just moving through a situation.
Formula.
Yeah. And this second movie though, it ups the ante as far as like the narrative weight it attempts to take on. And I guess
development and all that. Yeah.
And our panel, I think, has different ideas of how successful that is. So I guess Metal, why don't you start leading us through as you're so great at?
No. I'm gonna leave now.
Dealing with Natalie Portman.
Let's go to the show.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start with the question: do you think the laundromat guy would have lived if he stayed asleep the whole time?
Maybe.
Probably.
Honestly,
can't
love these
scare
like
guys in
questions, kind of like the one I asked about if Dawn was nicer to Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Like, would she have had mercy? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like if he didn't see anything, like wasn't a witness to Art coming into the laundromat, maybe he wouldn't have died.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Well, actually, that's the thing. You see the way that some people are nicer to Art, they tend to die a lot quicker compared to other people. Because when you see people who are rude to him, they get way worse deaths.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, one
And-
question I have too is about like the Miles County Clown is like a huge freaking thing after everything that happened with Tara and Dawn and Vicky and stuff. And like Art is still able to just navigate Miles County like it's nothing. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that still see him and they don't go, "Oh my God, that's the clown." You know what I mean? They don't report him to the authorities. Like the guy in the laundromat, he's like he should have known that was Art the Clown with all the reports and stuff. And like even there's scenes in the third one too when Art passes by normal civilians and they're just like they're creeped out by him, but they're not like, "Oh, that's the Miles County Clown," you know? Like
Well-
he's able to just blend in, which is kind of weird to me because he's an infamous figure, obviously.
Well, the laundromat guy is right
Because
after the Dawn murders.
yeah, the laundromat's the same night as the first movie. Like he
But
goes right
even in
from
the third
morgue.
one. But I don't
Oh.
know, like I feel like that would be breaking news, you know, because like everyone was hearing it on the radio and stuff, and like he's kind of a fugitive at that point.
Oh yeah,
Also-
fair enough.
Also, later with like the trick or treaters, spoilers, everyone. No one notices him, and like there are parents with the kids and everything. It was like, oh no, that's
Yeah,
a cool
that's
costume.
true. Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
Well, you gotta
Do
also remember.
you smell any of that?
Well, you gotta remember
real.
he's been reported dead too, despite his body missing.
Yeah, so I think people feel pretty safe about it.
Yeah, they still think it's people in costumes because he's in the costume shop as well, and the employee doesn't really. They're like, "Get out! You're just being annoying." Not, "Oh my God, you're Art the Clown," you know.
I just want to know what he does all year when it's not Halloween. It's just hanging out somewhere,
That third one
You'll-
doesn't take place on Halloween.
riding his
The
tricycle.
third one also explains part of that question. So
Oh,
when you
okay.
see it, you'll know like what Art is doing in his downtime.
Yeah, that's true.
For real.
Okay. God, I'm curious to what I'm about to see when I finally watch 3.
I'm
yeah,
not.
oh, man.
I'm good. You guys have
I am
fun.
going to have
I'll
a
watch
short
the-
paycheck. I'm
I'll
going
watch
to have a
the
short
Forge.
paycheck next week with all the shit I gotta buy.
But yeah, we start right where the first one left off, and we immediately start with a gruesome killing that I probably can't show on YouTube because it's you can see everything. Because he wakes up and sees the coroner guy. What's the profession name? Actually, I don't know.
A
It's
medical
Corner.
examiner.
Just
Or- yeah.
Corner.
oh, that's it.
Well, if he's
medical
performing the
examiner.
autopsy, yeah, the medical examiner.
Okay. But yeah, he gets brutally murdered by him, and Art is like, "Oh, that's my eye got fucked up in the last movie. Let me get yours." And then he puts it in his eye socket, and that seems to work out a little bit.
Yeah. No.
Already being a goofball.
Sorry.
It,
I was
it
like,
would've-
he's already being a goofball. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say it'd be really funny because like obviously that eye couldn't work because
Yeah.
you'd have to attach it, but it'd be funny if like he put it in poorly and like part of the optic nerve was just kind of hanging out of the side of the eye.
Yeah.
He's like, I
And
don't know how to do this.
also, I think they're implying he just grabs this guy's brain, like because he shot his one up. Is that what we're doing? Because he rips his head open and grabs his brain. It's either that or he's just gonna eat it because he's cannibalistic, of course.
I kind of assumed he was gonna eat the brain.
Yeah. But yeah, he also stocks up on a little bit of weaponry. He gets a little bit of acid and some scissors and stuff like that. And we will see those later on in the movie, having a reappearance. But yeah, he's making his way to the laundromat, and he's just tripping completely naked, is full of blood, and just grabs the newspaper and reads it. It's like, head-on crash kills Ford. He's like, ha ha ha, that's hilarious. Obviously without making any sounds. And yeah, then his the washing machine he uses breaks. He looks at it, it's like, ah, damn it, that's annoying.
Noticeable disappointment.
Yeah. And then he sees the little girl, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then she shits all over the floor, or goops all over the floor.
What is with the recurring theme with shit?
Yeah, this is
like, is that part of like the demonic possession? Do they just poop everywhere and smear it or whatever? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just that they honestly don't care where they poop.
Right.
I just like how Art looks at it. He's like, okay.
Why is it always diarrhea?
How do you think their diet is, Swoll?
I mean, I don't know what cannibalistic diet does to you.
Hold on. Like, if it's only if it's only like people, then they would have no fiber. It should be like little hard pellets of red. Oh, how about that? Just think about that.
I feel like they don't have the best gut biome, though.
Probably not. No.
That would be incredibly more comical than it would be disgusting and disturbing, though. Just seeing pellets drop out of the little girl.
I hate them.
Like making like metallic sounds as they bounce.
Do you know what the worst part is? I just saw a thing where people found a starving dog, and it ate a bunch of the Orbeez gel pellets, the one that they use for those water guns.
I saw that video.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it ate a ton of them. So it literally has the video of it shitting out like
hundreds of those
hundreds
pellets.
And
it's
it was
hilarious.
It was only 25. Well, it's hilarious in a sad way.
Well, I didn't know the backstory. No, you ruined that video for me. Thank you.
It said it on the video.
I only saw the video. There was no comments attached to that. I just saw a dog doing a poop, and there was pellets everywhere, and I was like,
yeah. Anyways, that was only 25% of all the pellets it shed out. It had to get surgery to get the rest out. Because you're supposed to hydrate those pellets before you use them for water guns. That's why they burst. And it just ate them dry because it was starving.
Ugh.
Oh.
That's terrible. We went to funny to just awful.
Yeah. The dog's alive. It's being taken care of.
Never having those kind of water guns around here because Rocky can't be trusted. Isn't that right, baby boy? Yeah, he's a good puppy.
Yeah, get a normal water gun. Just stick it in water and fill it up.
In any case, the guy who's in the laundromat wakes up and he sees Art just doing like those hand a hand clapping game with no one because that little girl is only in his head.
Do you not know what patty cake is, Metal?
I don't know how you call it. I don't even know how you call the actual game in German. There's like multiple.
He's German. They don't have childhoods there. Okay?
Yeah, we just go to the mines immediately. It's like, you're born, go get a job. It's like, fine. But yeah, the guy wakes up and he just sees this, and I don't know if that's too spicy for YouTube. I don't trust YouTube because it's really funny.
He's covered up, so
it should be fine.
It won't be.
So yeah, he's just like this. He's like, hey, just clapping like a maniac, and the guy just sees this, and then he gets killed because of this. Just next time we see him, he's just dead. Has like a broomstick up his head or whatever.
Yeah, well, because that's the interesting part is Art cleans up the mess that the girl made, even though in reality there's nothing there.
Yeah.
The broom is broken in half, and that guy has possibly the quickest death out of everyone, where it's just straight to the head, out the mouth, or the bottom of his jaw.
But yeah, he's all cleaned up now. His suit is clean. He cleaned himself up. Maybe applied even new makeup. He's a clean killer, so he can get bloodied up again. But yeah, that's how Terrifier 2 starts up. And then we get introduced to Sienna, our main protagonist girl in the movie. And she's just, she's making...
She's a cosplayer.
She is a cosplayer. Well, is she a cosplayer? I think she just was just making the...
Yeah, but I feel like that's her talent, you know? Because her friends talk about it a lot.
That's fair,
yeah. All the tools she has, she's got to be. If she doesn't make them for herself, she's making them for someone else.
Probably be making money making them for other people.
She's got a lot of supplies in her room too, so it makes me think that she does it regularly.
That's a good point, yeah. So yeah, she's making an outfit which we learn later is a character her departed father made for her in the past, and she wants to go as that in this is also Halloween, right? This is like a Halloween party.
Yes, it's exactly a year later. It's Halloween.
And she's like spraying
I really like the
wings
song too. It's got like this kind of new wave song in the background while she's like we're doing the credits.
That's a great thing about the Terrifier movies. Well, past the first one, is that they have a really awesome synthwave soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
Me too.
But yeah, she's like making a thing. She goes downstairs and talks to the mom who does home office all the time. Just annoyed because she's busy, and apparently she's not very good at cooking. Because it's just, I think there's just
God.
This is a fucked up piece of meat that's completely burned in the pan. I just assume that's because she was distracted. I'm just being mean.
Yeah, that's got to be like your cooking, right? Because I don't even know what that thing would have been before.
What do you say? What do you mean that's my cooking?
Or is it? Anyways.
No. Hang on.
Oh,
You piece of shit. I fucking cook every day, and it never looks like this.
Allegedly. We never see it. We don't know.
No, that's okay. I'll remember that. That's okay. That's fine.
You see my cooking. I can only cook eggs.
I mean, that works. It's still cooking.
I've seen a lot of people say that the mom's annoying in Terrifier 2, but she's clearly just a really stressed out mom.
Oh, she's
that's
just
like
busy all the time.
single,
Yeah.
well, she's busy and she's a single mom now after like her husband killing himself and like the whole family having to live that trauma, and she's raising 2 kids by herself. So it's like obviously she's going to be on edge all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think
she feels like Jonathan is like losing grip too and all that, and Sienna even tells her that at first and she doesn't believe her and stuff, and now she's like starting to see it, so I can see why she's like frazzled and losing it.
I think character-wise, I'm fine with it. I think this might be another situation where Jonathan and the mom, I think just the actors they're not on the same level that like Sienna and Art
agreed.
are.
They're
So,
not
they
strong
stand out a
like
bit.
Sienna. But I think Jonathan comes a little bit more into himself in the third one. He definitely improved his acting abilities in that
That's
one.
nice. Well, one thing I'm going to say right away, because we see them talk in like a normal sense where they're just, talking to each other like human beings at a family gathering or dinner or whatever. They talk like normal human beings to each other. And I hate that I have to point that out these days, but there's so much shit I watch all the time where they can't write dialogue to save their fucking lives, where you just think the people that made a show or a movie, they've never heard people talk to each other before. Because these people are like, oh, we were just doing the dishes and we talk to each other like pretty normal human beings would. And it's not like this really weird dialogue that's just fucking awful. I mean, obviously, as you guys already said, like not all the actors and actresses are like on par with each other, but in terms of what the dialogue has, it's like, yeah, that's pretty normal. I can see that conversation taking place in a normal household, and that's nice.
The funniest thing going with that is the mom's acting might be slightly off, probably because she's uncomfortable, because her only direction for most of the movie was be meaner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then that's not a great choice, because I think that was her problem. She was going a bit hard, like and mostly on like line deliveries and stuff, where she seemed angrier than maybe she should have been, or at least not really, because I mean it's not the level of anger, it's how loud it is.
She did have moments where she kind of reeled herself in when she was realizing that she was being too aggressive, like when her and Sienna are on the phone, and then
that's
like
her
laying
best
into
scene,
her, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I love you too," and or whatever. Like she just realizes she's being kind of a bitch. But I do like what you said about the dialogue, because it is pretty accurate to moms. Like there's that scene when she's yelling at Jonathan, and like she tells him to bring the bowl into the sink, like and take that bowl downstairs into the sink. Like that's definitely like a mom thing to do.
For sure. Yeah.
I just think, I guess, like in a lot of the scenes, it seemed like if she was maybe like 20% more reserved, it would have made her character seem more believable, I guess.
That's fair. Kind of comes out the gates like hot-headed.
Well, she's the only one. She has to make money for like admittedly a nice 2-story house.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, she's under a lot of stress.
Well, I'm not talking about the writing. I'm just talking about the performance. I think if she just scaled it back a little bit, she'd like been a little more subdued's not even the right word. A little more subtle, I guess, with the anger, then it would have been more believable anger, and I think would have been more effective and made her stand out less as this like, I don't know, like unpopular
like
character, I suppose,
cunt.
for lack of a better way of putting it. Or I mean, like I don't know, because like I don't know that scene with Sienna on the phone. It's pretty clear that she's probably not normally like this, and she,
I think
you know.
I think I generally agree. I think there are, at least a bit earlier in the movie, she overreacts to quite a few things. So it's like, calm down, it's not that big a
Maybe
deal.
it's the
Right?
Yeah.
confidence in which
She's like in
angry.
attack mode and she's like very defensive a lot. Like when Sienna goes to show her costume and all she has to say about it is that it's slutty.
Mm.
And I was just like, that's
Yeah.
fucked up. But at the end, she does go, you know, your father would have loved it. She realizes she's being kind of shitty about it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, but as you might already be able to tell, we have some characters going on right now. Like we have the mother,
Yeah.
we have Sienna, who is going to be the main protagonist, apparently throughout the next couple of movies, from what I understand now. And yeah, we got the the brother. You just said the name, and I forgot again.
Jonathan.
Because Jonathan, thank you. Who seemingly is super interested in Art the Clown as a killer.
Yeah.
So much so that he wants to actually go as him on Halloween, and they're both like, that's probably not very tactful to do. It's been like exactly 1 year after all those killings. Probably don't want to do that.
I almost think that him wanting to do that makes the least sense with every other aspect of his character, and specifically the interest in Art the Clown, because they kind of show later that he's not just interested in it because he's a psychopath. He's actually like more normal than some of the kids in his class. But you know, like him wanting to dress as him just doesn't seem to really fit with that exactly. It's like, well,
yeah, I
Art the
agree. Just
Clown's
because
evil.
like he has to be interested in art, especially like a hyperfixation, because he's seen art in his dad's drawings.
Right.
So like it's literally like the same clown. So he's probably researching the fuck out of art, being like, what the hell's the connection between my dad's drawings and this clown and stuff. And that's why I'm like, it's a little weird that he's kind of like in fan territory, like wanting to dress up as art and stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's
like
one
it's a
thing to be
misdirect.
hyperfixated, you know, but to want to dress up as him is a little weird.
Yeah, I think him wanting to be in the costume, it's a bit of a misdirect, but I think it goes a little too far and makes it seem too much like he's actually just a psycho himself.
Right. Like a budding a psychopath serial killer.
Because that's what I thought he was at first.
Well, I mean, it's
'cause
very clearly what they're trying to make you think. Like,
Yeah.
so that,
It's like, why else would you do that?
But yeah, that's what we establish here. He's asking Sienna for some glue as well to fix the little hat and stuff. And yeah, they just have a little, I don't know, brother sister banter pretty much. Pretty normal dialogue. Again, just nice. Pretty normal.
and good actress too.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Sienna seems very natural in like every scene she's in, no matter what's happening. Like even just it's a normal scene with conversation. She doesn't seem like she's acting. She seems like she's just talking, and it's yeah, I think she's good.
Right.
And then we get to, well, the clown cafe scene, because she's just lying in bed, falling asleep to whatever's on the telly right now.
Yeah. And this has been in my head for now like 2 weeks. I hear it whenever I'm alone. Just I hear the banjo.
It's not completely ingrained in my head, but it's probably because I had to. One thing I have to say that probably did a little bit for the pacing for me is because I had to stop a lot to watch this, because I had to multitask and then do work and shit like this. That's what I mean. There's too many things to do. But yeah, it's a pretty catchy tune for sure.
So that lady who's playing the banjo, she's like a cosplayer outside of this.
Well, I mean, with this being a crowd-funded movie that like exists because of the internet, and it featuring a cosplayer essentially as the protagonist, and like an actual cosplayer being like, "Yeah, I'll play a banjo song in your movie. Why not?" Makes sense. I can see that being
but yeah,
arranged.
it's basically in a dream sequence where she just looks around. She's sitting in that clown cafe treehouse.
It's the most Nightmare on Elm Street-ish scene, I think, that like is in the series. Maybe the clown cafe sequence, probably so far.
Yeah, he's just kind of fucking around. And he seems really nice in the beginning. He's just going around with tricycle. He's giving people some gifts and stuff. And I was like, yay! But Sienna is just looking around, being sussed out, if you will. And I was like, yay, ice cream and popcorn, woohoo. It's like, Sienna, here's your ones, and yours has a pulsating heart in it with worms. Like, oh, that's not as nice as the other things.
Yeah.
It fills up with black goo.
Yeah.
Well, I think the interesting part about this is the fact that in this dream sequence, it incorporates most of what she already watched on the TV right before she fell asleep.
Exactly. It's pretty nice. And then he gets out the fucking Thompson. That was a Thompson, right, that he had there? The Tommy gun. And just fucking blasts them all to smithereens.
Yeah, 1930s drum-fed Tommy gun. Like,
there's blood everywhere. And I think this is I'm pretty sure this uses these little squibs as well. That I think Fringy complained about this like not too long ago on an episode of EFA. I was like, why didn't we use squibs anymore? Because it looks so good. And
I think that was our show, actually.
Was it
I think it was when we were talking about.
He probably complained about it on multiple places, so it's fine.
I remember talking to Fringy about squibs.
Yeah.
I think he did it on. What was the EFAP before the last one? Because I skipped the Joker one.
Well, yesterday they did Agatha. Before that was Joker 2.
Yeah, I skipped that one.
And then
I think it was on Rings of Power.
Well, Rings of Power.
It's probably Rings of Power.
Well,
then,
you were on that episode, Metal.
I mean, I was on Rings of Power, but I wasn't on the last two EFAPs.
Did you guys pre-record Rings of Power?
No. I was just going through.
Like 2 weeks ago.
I was just going through the episodes in backwards chronological order to get.
You know what? Joker 2 was on a Thursday. That's probably what's throwing us off about that. But anyways, we can get back to the Clown Cafe.
The Clown Cafe, yes.
Well, the funny thing with the squibs too is like, what movie was it with Charlie Sheen? Was it Platoon? Is that the movie?
Charlie Sheen is in Platoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
our squibs used in that film, sure.
Yeah, well, that's the scene where the squibs failed to go off, and that's what made that scene better. When Charlie Sheen gets shot.
Oh, right,
all of his squibs fail, so he's just literally acting like they're going off, and they kept that in the movie because it was better.
Sorry, that was just a funny thing on screen right now as well. Because he shot everyone, then he sets the one girl on fire, and he just kind of dances where it's like... Yeah, and then there's like everyone is just kind of dying and in pain, shit's on fire, there's corpses everywhere. And then she wakes up and the wings are on...
No, she doesn't wake up yet. She crawls to the cereal box.
The Art Krispies.
Yes, the Art Krispies that have like knives in them or whatever.
It's like razor blades and bugs. I think.
It's like.
And the child looks like a deadite.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets out the fucking sword that Jonathan played around with. It's like, that's the one that my father gave me. And somehow the dream thing ignites the candles she turned off before, and then everything gets up in flames. And this is one of these scenes where it's like, okay, I guess that's a thing that happens now.
Well, that's very Nightmare on Elm Street-ish, how it's like transference between dream sequence and real world.
Yeah.
If you wake up in the middle of it.
Oh, I get this, but just in the point where I'm with the story with this, I don't know why this is happening.
For sure.
This is not really explained in this one. I said not really. It's not explained. It's just a thing that happens. So I don't know if this is going to be...
Sienna doesn't even freaking know, too. She's trying to convince her mom, and her mom's like, yeah, okay, you're crazy. You left the candles burning.
Yeah, she's like, you have candles right there all the time. What do you mean I'm supposed to believe you didn't? Like, you put them all out, and that's what... And it was a dream. And a dream encounter with the demon is why your wings are on fire.
Yeah, but
it really would seem silly.
But yeah, she gets out the sword out of the cereal box, and that kind of it's like a defense from the fire, and that somehow translates into the real world and almost sets their whole house on fire. Yeah, and I checked, the candles were off indeed, so it was definitely some supernatural thing that happens here somehow. I don't know how and why. I don't know if that's going to be explored in 3, but I don't know. That's just a thing that happens right now with my knowledge.
Oh, there is still some stuff about it in this movie. Well, we'll get to it though.
Okay, I'm curious because I don't remember anything explaining the fucking dream powers.
not explicitly, but sorry, I thought you just meant like some of the things going on with her, like the sword and stuff.
I mean, you
Like,
can explain that to me
the
as well
dream
because
fire
I don't know
isn't
how that works either as of now.
Well, but I mean, we'll get to
Yeah,
the hints as we're going through it, is what I mean.
But yeah, everyone is annoyed. The mother is obviously upset because they almost set their house on fire. Her wings are ruined, and yeah, it's a bad night. It's a bad night. But the sword is fine. It's not even tinged. Is that the right word? Tinged with fire. Singed. That's the word. Yeah, see,
It makes me think that, like, just a theory that the sword that she used in the dream to combat the fire with art, like, kind of started the fire, like, in real life, like, it glowed while she was using it in the dream, and maybe that sparked the fire. Like, that's the only thing I can think of that explains why it started, yeah, because the sword is obviously magical.
And they do make it explicit, at least in the third, that the sword is pretty critical to her ability to do crazy shit.
Right, and be strong as hell.
Mm.
So she is just Buffy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did kind of mention that.
Yeah, I've never seen Buffy, but I do know about that. Like,
see, there we go. I wasn't spoiling Buffy with that. Take that, Metal.
But I didn't even say anything.
I just said it. Oh, Metal.
James.
I know, no, but Metal hasn't seen Buffy because, like, I guess you're waiting to do an arc with it for Muller. Or
Muller wants to do something with it
Muller.
at some point. Maybe when I'm 55, we're gonna do that or something. I don't know.
It's okay.
That just kills me because every time I'm on EFAP and I want to make a Buffy reference, I know Mahler's gonna get it and no one else will because you've been forbidden from seeing it till you watch it together.
Yeah. Let me see. What was next? I guess we just go to the next morning. Well, she realizes the sword is fine, obviously. And then they just have some conversation. I forgot what happened in that conversation, if I'm being completely honest. Well, he's eating some Wacky Jacks. That's a funny name for a cereal.
Wacky Jacks.
Oh, isn't this a scene where they're talking about Jonathan and how he's a weirdo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that was before. I think it was the.
That must have been before because he's just sitting there. It would be funny if they would do that right here. So, man, this Jonathan, he's a fucking weirdo,
right
man.
in front of him.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant before wasn't it before they walked in, like, to the kitchen? Or did I not see that properly? Never mind. Here, we can keep going.
Yeah, she just kind of looks at him and remembers the dream where that one kid died in the dreams of things. But enough of that. We see Art preparing some of his weaponry and is having a good time.
His spooky lair.
He's in his spooky lair, yeah. He just makes a big fuck-off mallet with, like, knives in it.
He has his own forge table.
He does, yeah.
That's the name of our show.
Whoa. The small girl in his head is watching television on a disconnected, really old CRT, as watching the interview that you see in the first one.
And so I'm assuming that despite that TV looking like it probably shouldn't be functional, like, is this happening now? Like, is this the night that is airing live?
I think so, yeah.
I believe it is, right?
Yeah, because we see in the other one, when she leaves the hospital, it says 1 year later, and after this is the interview.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Halloween, I think,
Yes.
because it takes place in a span of a day, because Sienna wakes up and then, like, she's finishing her costume, and then she goes to the shop last minute to get the wings, and then it shows her getting ready for the party later on. So I think it's supposed to be all on Halloween a year later.
Mm-hmm.
And if at this point Vicky's body has been possessed by the little girl, this is why Art is now able to see the little girl, because it's like she has a host so she can communicate with Art.
Right.
But she's not actually there, though the people who are at least connected to Sienna's dad can see her as well.
You know, one of Sienna's friends mentions that the newscaster recently got attacked. So
that's later
she
on,
brings
though,
it
right?
up that same day, yeah.
It's when they're driving to the party, I think, right?
I think at
Oh,
school
no.
when they're
Or
at
Yeah,
lunch.
that's school.
Yeah.
That's a school.
Talking about school, that's where we are right now with Jonathan. And this is where we see that his friends are actually psychos and not him, because they're just looking at a dead
Little
possum.
budding psycho.
Yeah.
And Poker's like, yo, look at this, Big J, or whatever they call him.
J-Man.
J-Man,
Also,
right.
Felissa Rose cameo as the hall monitor or principal, whatever she's supposed to be,
Who is
from
that?
Sleepaway Camp.
I don't
Oh.
know what that is. I don't remember.
I didn't catch that.
Really? You guys haven't seen Sleepaway Camp? Oh, it's
I
a
have.
classic. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
she
do I.
plays
Legendary thing.
Angela.
Oh yeah, well, Swoll doesn't watch scary movies, so that
well,
would make sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, that one's also very fucked up, so I would understand you not seeing that.
Mhm.
So
But yeah, this is Chekhov's possum, I guess, for later.
Well, I mean, it also, like, this scene does give us a lot of character on Jonathan, because he's clearly, like, this is your thing that's like, yeah, no, he's not the fucked up one here.
Yeah, he just
yeah,
Like,
he's got
he's the only one that's
sympathy.
kind of reacting to this like a normal person. And I guess the only thing he does wrong is he doesn't speak up when they're bringing the little girl over.
Right, but he obviously makes it clear that he thinks it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks at the girl later, and it's like, kind of looks like remorseful that happens. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably should have done
He's like,
something.
shit, I should have just said, no, don't come over here. There's a dead animal. They're fucking with you.
But yeah, he's getting the hall pass and pretends like he's drinking from the fountain, but he's not actually. It looks kind of weird because I don't know why he just doesn't drink. It's like it's clearly off when he tries to drink from it. I don't know why. It's like one of these things when that happens, like, don't just drink. I don't know why you didn't do this. Maybe.
Now you're making me rewind to see if water actually comes out of it or not.
No, I guess I hope
Water fountains.
enough attention to notice.
Because some water fountains are just really shitty.
Okay.
There we go. The possum comes back into play.
Yeah, no, I see
Which
water
makes me
coming
want,
out of
like,
it.
so do you guys think, is the possum dead because Art killed it?
Who knows?
No.
Or
Maybe.
did the possum
No.
happen to die? And
No, because it
Art's
has
using
maggots
it?
in it. It's been dead for a minute.
I think maybe he was watching from afar with the little girl and then wanted to fuck with them and bring the possum
Yeah.
in and mess with them.
Yeah, I guess if you're trying to scare a person and a dead animal enters the equation, you'd be stupid to not use it, really.
But yeah, Artie and the little girl are just sitting there, fucking around with that possum, throwing it around, starting to eat its guts. They're just kind of
stomach tearing apart.
frolicking
It's so
around
gross.
with the possum, if you will. And that's also just interesting, I guess, to keep in mind, because apparently that the girl can do physical things, even though not everyone can see the girl. I mean, it doesn't really play into the movie at some points, but I just found it interesting. It's like, oh, wait, so you can do physical things? Or is that also in his head? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, she touches the possum, doesn't she?
Yeah, she throws it around, she eats a bit of it. But yeah, he sees that, he drops the hall pass, and they're like, oh, well, I can see you. And then he runs away, but they don't do anything. And then there's this one lady, I guess that's the one you were just referencing. That's a cameo, I guess.
One outside, the one
Oh, the
that
one
yells
outside.
at them about the
Okay.
possum, yeah.
He's like, no running inside. And then she sees the possum and then gets Jonathan in trouble a little bit later.
What a bitch.
Then still in the school, we see Sienna and her bestie talk to each other. What was her name again?
Ellie,
Yes. Oh, wait, there's two. Ellie and...
Brooke.
Yes. See, I'm bad with names. That's what I have guests on here for. And Mark.
Yeah.
Her name's Brooke? She seems like a Brooke.
She does.
Wait, hold on. Which one do you think is Brooke? Hold on.
The one, the blonde
the
with the
one
choker
who-
that was just on screen?
The one that fucking drug the fucking Sienna.
Yeah,
That's
that
some
one's
Brooke ass behavior. Shit.
But yeah, they're
That's
talking
terrible.
about the killing that happened a year ago, and that freaks Sienna out. And I don't think at this point she doesn't even really know why that freaks her out, I think, right?
Yeah, as far as she knows, she just had a bad dream that
Yeah.
really had a weird ending because it seemed to get pulled into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
But she at this point, I think, knows that something weird's going on.
Probably, yeah. And another thing where it's just normal human beings and friends talking to each other she apologized, like, oh, I didn't mean to freak you out, which is a small thing, but not a lot of people do this today. Because they were like, oh, come on, it's just a story thing. It's like, no, if you're friends and you freak them out with something, you normally say, I'm sorry, if it's like actually freaking them out.
Especially your friend with known anxiety and has suffered the loss of her father in a really brutal way.
Exactly.
Maybe our friend who just dealt with a violent family death should not be the one we're joking around about this stuff with.
Mm-hmm. In any case, oh yeah, back at home, Jonathan gets put on the silent staircase because he's getting in trouble for the possum, because everyone thinks he just brought that dead possum inside and fucked around with it. And obviously this is going to be weird for the mother, because she already thinks he's a bit of a wacko at the moment, going through a phase, and now he's apparently playing with a dead possum.
Justice for Jonathan. He gets it so rough for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's like, look, I know in the first act they made me say that I wanted to dress up as art, but I swore.
Right.
I didn't do this crazy shit.
But yeah, he gets a bit of trouble now, and we go to the cosplay shop because she needs new wings, and he's like, oh, I can't believe I have to get these ones. Mine were way better. And honestly, I'm actually not sure if those were different ones. I feel, to me, they look kind of the same.
The ones she made were a lot more straight.
Oh, okay.
They looked kind of bigger, too.
Right. But, Art is here, and he's just being a little troll. And where he's like, oh, let me, you can go through, a little lady. And just kind of, I don't know, he's just kind of being a wacko here, kind of looking at her, smiling. He's like, hey, what's up? And she's like, okay, hello.
She has, like, the cojones to even skirt by him when he's blocking the exit after just seeing him in her nightmare, too.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, whoa, I would not want to go that close to him and scoot by him. No way.
Well, the worst part is that's like in a basement area.
Right? No one else is around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's kind of freaked out, and then the cashier's like, so you good? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, I want to buy this. And she's like so distracted even, and he's like, those wings too? She's like, oh yeah, sorry, of course. And this is just Artie being a fucking goofball. He puts on like all different sunglasses and stuff and just stands there.
The flower glasses.
Yeah.
Well, she left her purse down there, and
Right.
the first thing he does is pop out right behind the corner and fucking slams it down next to her.
Like, oh my god, I left my bag down.
Oh my god, that's actually
like she doesn't even get through the word.
The fact that I could just go back and forth between these right now because they're exactly 10 seconds apart. I'm way too much fun with this. Because he's like,
if you're just listening, you should back that up a little bit and watch what Metal just did. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. I didn't expect this to work as well. That's great. But yeah, he's just fucking around. He has like eyeball ones as well and goes like bounce, 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 bounce. Then he has like one of these I don't know, like paper trumpets. I don't even know what the fuck they're called.
Kazoo, right?
And the thing has like the thing on top of it that goes like, it goes like.
Oh yeah, those things.
It's like, hey buddy, if you put that in your mouth, you have to buy it. And he goes like, and spits it out, just kind of drops it.
Okay, really... fine, I won't.
The really funniest part about that is I can't tell if he's trying to catch it or not.
Oh, he's like, definitely trying to catch it. You can see a little bit of his arm move, but he just
like half-assing it.
Then he finds a little clown horn, and he goes right next to her and goes like. That is, by the way, definitely a clip I'm going to be using in videos from now on because that's hilarious.
The funniest part about that is she knows she's walking up right next to her, and she's like, "Please don't."
Yeah, please don't.
And then immediately,
look at this.
Hands it in her ear. You get
comical creep up to Sienna too. How he's like doing it like a cartoon.
I can imagine that took a couple of tries because I would fucking burst out laughing a couple of times. That's so funny. And just starts going. He just goes like, stop it.
Yeah, he goes out of his way to be annoying with it.
Yeah, she pays for the thing and then leaves. And Artie closes the door because we got a killing to do. But it's more fun stuff because he's like, I want to buy this clown horn. Then he just starts getting things out of his sack. It's like a chain, some tongues or whatever.
Paying in almost strictly like pennies and nickels too.
Yeah. I think there's
I would
blood
be
on
loading the shotgun if I were that clerk. I'd be like, okay, well.
I think there's blood on the money he has there. It's like, can you pay for it or not? He goes like, oh, why are you so angry at me? And he goes like, nah. And then he just fucking bashes a glass bottle over his head. And, well, that's his last day at work for sure. I just see him getting battered and blasted. He's getting killed it. I think they're in another shop now talking about something, just how weird it is that she saw that guy who is in her dreams. And she's like, that's probably just weird coincidence or whatever. Because, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, obviously, to other people when that happened. Anyway, the clerk gets decapitated and he stands in the doorway looking out. And there's like a child and a mom want to go inside. Oh, damn, it's closed. Well, gotta go. And he looks at Artie having this decapitated head in his hand. And
the face he makes with the head in his hands is so funny towards the kid. It's just the goofiest smile.
Yeah, let me see if I can get that frame. It's pretty good. Because the kid is like, whoa, that's so cool.
And then he just like rolls his eyes and tosses the head aside when the kid walks away.
Yeah. He's like, nee. Yeah, and then he just kind of throws it away. It's like, ugh, annoying. Ugh.
It's like, no one was scared by this. Ugh. This is what it feels like anyway.
But yeah, they bought some Halloween. They bought some Halloween candy and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, Jonathan, why are you not in costume? It's like, well, I got grounded because they think I fucked around with a possum in school. And also, I did more research on the clown, and also here's the sketchbook of our dad. And she's like, hey, what the fuck? We've been looking for that for ages, and he just never acknowledges it because he's just so entrenched in it. But yeah, it's like, look at this. This is like the people the clown killed, and there's everything that the dad drew. So we're definitely planting some seeds that something is going on maybe in this family. So it's kind of interesting because at this point I was like, oh, we're probably doing a thing that the clown is their dad and he got possessed or something after he killed himself or whatever. But that doesn't seem to be the case, at least not in this movie. I don't know if they do some generational thing in the third one. I will figure that out when I see it, I guess. But yeah, it kind of seems like we were going... For me, I was like, oh, pretty straightforward. It's going to be their dad or whatever, and they have to stop him. But that's apparently not what we're going for. And yeah, the mom comes upstairs and tells us like, oh, he's fucking around with like a dead possum in school. It's like, you were right, Sienna, with the whole thing. He is a wacko, basically. She doesn't say that outright, but she's very frustrated and stressed out, so she's being pretty mean, I would say. Let me think. Yeah, so they don't really believe him because, like, that's kind of crazy. Let me think. What else is happening now? I was trying to think if there's anything else in the conversation that I missed, but I think that's basically the gist of it. Feel free to chime in when I miss something. But I think that's the gist of it.
I don't want to.
Oh, okay, fine. Well.
I'll let you stuff. No, it's just basically Jonathan doesn't want it to go out because he's freaking out.
Something bad is going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, because especially since his dad drew a picture of art.
Mm-hmm.
Especially... Not sure exactly when the dad died. I don't know if it's before or in between the two movies.
Didn't they say it was like a year or so ago? Like a couple years ago, maybe 3 years? I think Brooke mentions it later in the movie when she's telling her boyfriend about it.
Mm.
Yeah, which is like another like 40 minutes away from now.
Yeah, right. I'm wondering if, like, before Jonathan explained everything to Sienna about the drawings and stuff and showed her art from the sketchbook, like, if she even put two and two together about the Miles County Clown when she saw him in her dream and also at the shop. And then, like, was she thinking that, oh my gosh, this might be the guy, they never found his body, like, this weird black and white clown, like, or is it just the same thing that the girls from the first movie thought is like, oh, it's just an idiot dressed up in a costume, like. I'm not sure because like everything's too coincidental. Like she just saw him in her dream and stuff. Like she had to have had that context of the Miles County Clown because it's kind of like an infamous crime where she lives. So
yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, Art is now going to the friendo's house.
Allie.
Ellie, exactly. And he's just standing there. It's like, hey, aren't you the clown from earlier today? And he's like, just very animated nodding of the head. He's like, no, that's not you. Oh, you want candy? He's like, no, that's ridiculous. No candy for the grown-ups. And then he just knocks again.
Yeah, see, this is another instance of like, her being rude to Art and then him going absolutely freaking feral on her.
Oh, she gets probably the worst. She gets
Yeah.
the worst killing. She's getting. Oh, I guess that's the iconic other one in this one, right? That's the big one.
This one goes way harder.
Oh yeah,
like by a lot.
Yeah. So the reason that is because this film got almost ended filming right when COVID started. So the director is like, we can make this scene way worse. So that's because his whole thing was he originally didn't want to do the special effects for this movie, so he went to hire another company, and then when he realized that company were cheap, he's like, all right, I want to do this myself. So this specific death scene he redid and made it much worse.
Damn.
Now my real question is Art doing supernatural shit to keep her alive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, because that's the only way any of this makes sense.
So
yeah, she kind of looks like she's reanimated towards the end when the mom walks in.
So based off what the director has said, basically, if there's any power that Art has, it's basically to nullify like shock. So it's just to keep them alive a little bit longer, so they're in pain and more terrified. Because that's his whole stick is the Terrifier. So
right. But yeah, she's been Ellie's mean to the guy, and he leaves for now. Then we go to Sienna. She sees on the tellies that the reporter lady has been brutally attacked and is in critical condition. I was like, oh, that's bad. Monica Brown, that's her name. And then
yeah, she's alive then. All right, yay.
Wait, also just like, wasn't there like a random thing on the telly where it talks to Sienna? I don't even know what the point of that was, to be honest.
Oh, I think it's because whatever problem that Sienna has might be, or any problem that her dad had might be genetic and go to Sienna because she takes oh
yeah, she takes pills right after. Yeah,
they say the specific pill way later.
Xanax,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I also imagine that it might be kind of a hint towards later stuff in the series. That's what I got from the whole thing, where it's like, oh, this is a hint. We'll come back to it later in these movies.
Yeah. In the previous scene with Jonathan, he tells her to not leave the house tonight because it's spooky and this clown is gonna do some weird things probably. And she's like, oh, okay, fine, I'll consider it. But then she gears up and puts on her outfit that she made and goes out to party.
I am very happy that she spends the entire rest of the movie wearing this outfit.
Wow.
It's iconic. Yep.
She looks really good in it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Wow, Mark. This is a woman in danger, and you're just thinking about boobies.
Hey, I think she's one of the best characters in the series, though, too. I explicitly stated that at the beginning of the show.
I mean, think about it. She is a piece of meat to art. So.
Yeah.
But she's dressed like a warrior angel.
A wangel, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
That sounded better in my head. I don't know. That's not sounds like
Wargle?
No, that's not. That's actually kind of worse. That sounds like an evil
That is
thing.
worse. Absolutely.
Yeah, I hardened the G. What do you think about that?
Oh, I can't do the hard G. Jeez, Swoll is right there.
Yeah.
Alright.
That was pretty good.
But yeah, spooky time because the door has been broken, not into, and Artis is running for the house and is having a bit of a sip of water. Like he's owning the place. And he's like, hello. And he has a scalpel and scissors in his hand, and he chases her away, and I'm gonna get rid of the visuals here because it's gonna get quite gruesome here in a second, and that's probably gonna get me in trouble on YouTube.
Yeah, there ain't no way.
Yeah, because the first thing he does, he grabs her by the hair and just uses the scalpel to cut right through the forehead, down to one of her eyes, into the cheek, and you can see it all. It looks fucking nasty, in a good way. And he just starts fucking scalping her and everything, just cut her open, break her apart. It's Jesus, it's quite something.
Yeah, I guess he would technically have slight superhuman strength because he fucking breaks her arm and rips it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's nothing.
Like the breaking the arm, I was like, okay, and then he rips it off. I was like, wait, are you human?
I don't think he is. No.
And then on the other arm too, he grabs it right between the fingers and just rips it straight down.
And then you see him kind of hopping out of the room. He goes like, do 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 do. He loves that shit. But yeah, she's missing an arm. She's been scalped. She's cut up. She's trying to get to a phone or something. And then, oh god, Art comes back with a bottle of bleach and salt and just pours it all over her. It's like, holy shit, dude.
It's like, you're just being a dick now, Art.
He is a fucking dick, dude.
The way he runs in so gleefully happy with it all.
Oh yeah, he just takes the salt, puts it in his hand, just throws it in the air like it's confetti. He's like, yay, woohoo!
Like, I found it, here I come.
And he's like, woo! And then he grabs like a whole hand and puts it in the bag where he cut her. And then he just rips up where he cut in and just rips off the skin. It's just, Jesus. Yeah. It's quite the visual. It's quite the visual. It's nasty as fuck.
A little bit excessive, but only a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's kind of like if a Mortal Kombat fatality was like 4 minutes long.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah. That's a good way to put it for sure. But yeah, she goes. Sienna goes downstairs and's like, "Hey mom, look at the thing I made for months." Like, wow, slut. That's pretty much her reaction.
All the kids are like sluts today, even though it's like a running trend for Halloween movies for like 30, 40 years.
I mean, she was a little hoey, and it's cold on Halloween, man.
A hoe never gets cold.
See, you know.
It's one of her powers.
But yeah, she leaves now and gets picked up by Brooke, I think, right? Oh wait, yes. No. First we come back to. Oh boy, wait, I need to get rid of the visuals again. God damn it. Because Ellie's mom comes back home and is like, "Hey, wow, did you actually put out candy? The bowl is completely full. What's up?" And then she sees the broken window. It's like, "Uh-oh, what's up?" And she goes upstairs into Ellie's room, and god damn it.
Yeah, this gets worse.
I wish I could show the visual because I don't even know how to explain it properly to make it justice. So for one, the room is full of blood. Art is sitting next to the corpse of...
Not corpse.
Well, not corpse, that's true. How do you explain it? So she's scalped, you can see
barely
the
strung
skull.
Together body.
The victim.
You can see
He
some
sits
ribs.
next to the victim.
One of her legs is basically chewed off. The other one is starting to get chewed off. There's like beat parts.
It's chewed to the bone. There's no meat
you
on
can
it, it's
see
just
the
bone.
you can see the bone.
Yeah, she looks almost completely flayed. Like
Yeah.
there's barely any skin left.
Flayed is a good word for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
not
there's
just
entire
sitting.
chunks just like ripped or bitten off of just random parts of her body.
Yeah, and you can see Art just still cutting more pieces up, and he sees the mom. He's like, "Ah, look at this! Isn't this hilarious?" And the mom is like, "Ah, God, fuck!"
Oopsie.
He's like, and then we see the thing moving. I say the thing. It's Ellie or whatever's left of her, seemingly being a little bit alive still. And that's probably what Mark meant. Like she probably got like reanimated a little bit here because there's no way she's still alive after this. And it's just
it's so creepy.
The fucking scene. The scene is a roller coaster because you go like holy shit, and then you look at Art. He's like having a great time. It's like oh look at this, and you start laughing because he's just enjoying it so much.
He's like hysterically laughing through this, and it makes it bizarrely funny, and maybe even funnier when she talks.
Yeah, like I feel like he's even astonished at like the success that he had, like basically murdering the shit out of her, and she's still alive. He's like, oh my god, check this shit out.
Yeah.
This is the toughest girl in the movie.
Yeah, because when you
one of them is a Valkyrie.
Because when you watch the scene, she like stutters awake, and you see his facial expression change, where he's like, "What the hell?"
Right?
He's like genuinely confused for a second. Why is she awake? And then laughs even harder.
But yeah, we go to the party they were all supposed to meet up, but Ellie's obviously not here. Sienna's a bit worried because that's unlike her. She didn't answer anything, but Brooke's like, you gotta chill out. We're here to have a good time. You're always like down since your dad died, obviously. So you know what? We're just gonna have a great time here and have some shots and get fucked up, which, you know what? I can relate. That sounds like a great idea. I'm trying to
She
think.
got happy tree, friend.
Brooke's plans are a little more advanced.
Then we get introduced to Brooke's boyfriend. He's the driver and gets killed later. I think that's his thing. We need him to get, and we need him to for exposition for Sienna. I think that's his role here in this movie, pretty much.
Also, he's got a great shirt.
Just the tip, yeah. But yeah, they're just having a good time and just start dancing and do party stuff. Then we get another scene with Art, who is just trolling like he does. He's opening the door to the kids, and he serves them candy in the decapitated head of the mother, I think this one is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, that's cool. And it's like, ew, it's sticky. It's like, it's just prop blood. Don't worry. It's like, god damn it. He just fucking loves what he does. It's another fun scene because the one kid wants to get a second thing, and he just goes like, slaps him on the wrist, like, nope, only one. And he goes like, bye. And then he leaves. That's the whole scene. Like, he doesn't even do anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do anything else here. It's really fun.
It's still very creepy though, because you're just thinking like, oh man, like these kids were acting in this movie and had to deal with taking candy out of a human head.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're okay with it.
Right, the little kid being like, it's sticky, and the mom's just like, oh, it's fake blood, don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, imagine the news report later. It's like, we found what's her name decapitated her cat.
At the candy bowl.
Yeah, and she turns to look over and she sees a kid.
Yeah, those parents are gonna be like, "Oh God, I'm an idiot."
Oh fuck! But you know how like, I don't, you know how like in like GTA or games like that, sometimes you just like, you know what, I'm just gonna drive normal and follow all the laws. It feels like Art is doing that. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna be normal for a second. I'm just gonna give the kids candy.
It is Halloween after all. Gotta give them kids the candy.
I'm gonna scar them when they realize who I was.
Then we got a scene between Jonathan and the mother, and he's like bummed out. He kind of checks out the sword again that the dad gave Sienna, and Yeah, he's like, you gotta believe me, Mom. I'm not crazy. Look at all the drawings. It's insane. This can't be coincidence. And just rips up the sketchbook. And he's like, why? Well, you gotta believe me. Why are you such a bitch? And he's like, oh. And then he gets bitch slapped by the bitch. Nice one. And then he runs away. And
Yeah,
then-
that's a reasonable reaction to getting slapped by your mother.
Especially after destroying like basically one of the last things.
yeah.
Of the father, yeah. Of the father who might actually be some kind of oracle.
By the way, you really fucked up later because it just goes back to the party, then back to the mom. The mom pops some pills and then immediately chugs wine
Oh,
right
yeah.
after.
Chases it with wine.
Like, oh fuck.
Well, she's been having a rough day. Okay,
Mhm.
I understand.
Yeah, going back to the party, they're just having more dancing going on, and Sienna's kind of going around. It's like, whoa, look at all these walls and stuff, and we learn a little bit why that is. Also, this one random guy's like, yo, can I get a selfie? It's a sick costume. And it's like, sure, and that's it. That's it. Then we get the pop pilling from the mom and some wine. She's just trying to have a good time herself, apparently. And
Hey, even a single mom is allowed at least like one breakdown where they're chugging wine and downing Xanax.
that's a
I mean,
lot,
I
yeah.
guess if you needed to take your medications and you were planning on drinking anyways, that like you might as well. Like it's not like you need to pour yourself water. The liquid's just to get the pills down.
Mhm.
I think she wanted
Use
to
wine.
just get crossfaded.
Yeah, the reaction though.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're not supposed to mix some medications with some alcohol.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
you're
if you
not
hate
supposed to.
fun, maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
well, unfortunately, I haven't really. No, I can't say that. Let's continue.
Uh-oh, someone's gonna get in trouble.
Someone's been crossfaded.
A little too personal.
Then the mom goes to check out the car and sees it's completely vandalized with shaving cream or something and a pumpkin and says bitch on it. And obviously she's like, I can't believe my son did this. And obviously it wasn't the son. But back to the party, Sienna's like, yo, check out this wall. I want to live in that. And it's like, oh, that's
Rolling
weird.
so hard.
What's going on with you? And the friend's like, oh, that's because I popped a molly in your drink. And I was like, that's not cool.
Like at all.
Yeah, and she gets mad at it later on, which, you know what? I'm happy that happened. She got mad at her for, putting drugs in her drink.
I think her reaction when she says "you bitch" and she's like laughing was very well done because it seemed like she was trying to be mad, but also she was just like the molly was just hitting her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you.
Like in disbelief too. She's
Mhm.
just like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just another detail where they would do this in other movies and then just never comes up again. But it's actually comes up later when they start to kind of sober up a little bit and start to drive to get Jonathan. Who's like, you know what? You probably shouldn't have done that, and I'm mad at you for that. And it's like, you know what? I would be mad at my friend too if they would drug me because that's not a cool thing to do.
It's very unbased.
Very unbased.
True. I think she would have been able to get Sienna on board if she just told her beforehand to be like, hey, you've been
Mhm.
freaking out lately. This is going to take it away
Yeah.
at least for a little bit. You
Mhm.
know, it's just half a pill. You're going to be fine. Like, she probably would have been like, okay, let's do it. But to just drug her behind her back, like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, super not cool ever.
Exactly. Someone in chat, drugs and alcohol? Sign me up. No.
Yes.
Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad,
Ew.
okay? I'm trying to get this
Ew.
voice done, but I can't. Anyway, Jonathan sees a van and looks at it. Wait, does Artie pop up here, or am I crazy? No, the little girl pops up, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with
She's
the
in the
glowy
van.
eyes. And that is spooky. And then he runs back home.
I probably would have had a colossal meltdown seeing that in the club, too.
Yeah. Then Sienna gets called by her mum, and she's like, "Yo, what's up?" And she's like, "He's dead. He vandalized the car, and when he comes back, he's dead." She's very mad, obviously. Just goes to do the thing. And this is the scene we mentioned earlier where she just kind of tells everyone, like, hey, man, I love you. Like, I don't tell you enough. You do a lot for us. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think I'm being a little bit of a bitch right now. So, yeah, love you too.
Yeah, she straight up just says, I love you in the middle of the mom freaking out. And it sort of just grinds her to a halt.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you say that in this context? I was just yelling.
Hey, it's also good because like that was the last conversation she had with her mom, and they were able to say "I love you." So a lot of people don't get that when things go south.
Yeah, that is nice.
She got comfort with one child, the other one, you bitch.
Yeah, not so much.
That's gonna be an awkward conversation later. What was the last thing you told mom?
I called you a bitch.
Well, it's like, hey, the last thing she did was slap me, okay? Can we just wind it back and say I love my mom? We had a bad night.
Yeah. Anyway, Brooke tells Sienna that one of the rules when taking Molly is not to take calls from your mother. It's like, I guess so. I don't know. I'm not experienced. I mean,
honestly, of all drugs you could have a conversation with your parents with, I think like MDMA is fine. You know, you just be you'd be mellow and happy. You wouldn't sound like an idiot or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh shit, right, that happens. I just skipped right on top of it, dude. I was like, doesn't at some point Artie show up? And yeah, he's like in the car waiting because he's the one who fucked up the car. And she looks...
what a patient motherfucker, too.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows how long he's been in there?
He has like a sort of shotgun and just fucking blasts her face off and just sprinkles across the room. And he's very happy.
I love that scene because the first time I watched it, I was like, that is absolutely a nod to Maniac. The head exploding scene in Maniac. And I looked it up and it's so true because Tom Savini did those effects. So I was like, he was totally inspired by that scene. And it just hit me like, oh, this is absolutely Maniac coded. And I was right. I loved it, though.
Interesting.
Nice.
Unfortunately, this leads to one complaint that I have a little bit later. Because you see that head get fucking obliterated besides the scalp.
True.
Oh, but there's like the...
he has a cavity to stuff
now that
stuff
you
in.
mention it, yeah. True.
Which really sucks because the effect on that dead body later looks great, too.
Yeah.
True.
Back in the club, Sienna is having a mental breakdown, and I'm not even sure if this is even supernatural at all, or if it's just a Molly with the Xanax just not mixing well together, and she just sees the little girl. But could go. It works either way, really, I guess.
Well, I think that's the first time that Sienna specifically sees the girl.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. No, yeah. So that is also supernatural stuff, I guess.
And we've established the little girl doesn't need to physically be there. She can kind of just show up wherever she wants.
Yeah. And then we get to the scalping thing, which I can probably not show again because it looks really gross. Yeah, Jonathan comes back home. Artie made some food. Isn't that nice? He's a very considerate clown. He just made some food. A little bit of mashed potatoes, I think it is. I'm hungry.
I'm really hungry.
When did Art have the time to make those mashed potatoes? Did he make them from scratch, or are they boxed mashed potatoes, instant?
Do you think Artie's a good cook?
Think they're instant. Maybe they look kind of good.
They look
I would
pretty
try them if they weren't in the head, you know.
Yeah,
just
I'll take the one other.
He had fresh prepared mashed potatoes in his garbage bag.
Probably made them
box
before.
Of instant potatoes.
Because he knew he was gonna kill someone and serve them with mashed potatoes.
This isn't Thanksgiving, Art. Get it together.
Oh man,
what?
It is in Canada, eh?
Oh yeah, that's true. Canadian Thanksgiving in October. Okay, Art. I take it back.
No, it's specifically today.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Why do you have Thanksgiving?
We have Thanksgiving this weekend. Tomorrow is a statutory holiday. Sunday is kind of the day.
Why?
I don't know. We're a different country than you.
Did y'all kill a bunch of Indians too, or what?
Well, I mean, our okay, look. I say "our" as if I was one of the people who founded Canada, but yeah, our relationships with the First Nations people aren't exactly rosy through all of history.
I want Thanksgiving.
But yeah, we get
any iteration that food looks always really delicious.
We just like having turkey, okay?
Oh,
You know what?
We don't
I
get
get
one
it.
in November.
Any
get it.
excuse to eat a lot is fine with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he stuffs some mashed potatoes in the rest of the head that should not be there, possibly. And
Maybe he put it back together, like
No.
he took the chunks.
yeah,
He would do something like that.
he
So
would do that. That's true. Yeah.
He had enough time to make potatoes. He had enough time to put that back together.
true.
Let's see. But yeah, he puts his tranquilizer flames into Jonathan and captures him. He also sees the knife. He's like, "Oh, that's a nice sharp knife. I'm gonna put that in my sack."
So this is something I was actually really impressed with this movie for. He attacks a child.
Yes.
I didn't think they were gonna do that. I was like, oh shit! All right, you're committed.
Well,
Kudos.
I got
there's
some
this
news
movie
for you.
Terrifier 3.
Oh boy.
Not just one child, but
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know,
there's
that's
gonna
usually
be
the-
some scenes that are tough for people.
yeah, for sure. But there's ways around them. Some of them
I
are.
think they're actually done quite well. But we'll get to
They
that.
are without being too absolutely visceral. Some are, well, one is sort of visceral, but
Sounds pretty crazy. I'm looking forward to that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah.
nothing's off limits for art, so that's also why he's legendary.
Like, yeah, I do appreciate that they don't try to make him like, oh, but he's kind of understandable. No, it's like, no,
Yeah,
he's a
like there's
demon.
rules.
He's-
Because remember when Kane Hodder played Jason, he was like, I have one rule as my Jason. I will never kill dogs. I'm like, okay, well, like Michael Myers killed dogs and stuff like that. So it was like, when you give these like psychotic slashers rules, it kind of makes it a little bit campy. Like
And
art doesn't have any rules, so.
And I think also making art specifically like not human exactly in his motivations and everything, you have the excuse to be like, look, he wouldn't be who we're painting him as if he decided to just show mercy.
True.
He's like, oh, well, that's a little kid, so no. It's like, no. He's a demon who wants to kill things, and he will kill whatever he
driven
wants.
explicitly by evil, so he don't discriminate.
Good
so
to
yeah.
have villain be scary.
They're going
Glad he's not
to
a bigot.
the big carnival flimbus now, as we learn soon. But first we go back to Brooke and Sienna, where Sienna is mad about the drugs, which that's just a nice detail that she should be mad about. Because Brooke's like, I just want you to have fun. It's like, yeah, but I also took Xanax, so that's probably might have been a bad thing, possibly. And then she gets a call, and it's Jonathan calling her, quote unquote. It's actually somehow the little girl making the voice of Jonathan, because I guess that's also a power he has. I don't have any way to explain it to you. That's just what happens, okay? I'm sorry.
Only the little girl has that power, not Art.
Yes. Okay.
Remember only Sienna and Jonathan can hear or see that little girl. So
yeah, I'm just confused what this little girl.
We don't know how
actually
that works with her speech, though.
I'm just confused by her presence in general, because apparently she can do things physically and also do voices, but not everyone can see her. I'm just confused about what she actually is. I don't know if that's gonna explored in 3 at all, but.
Well, I mean, theoretically, she is a presence who now lives in Vicky, and is this entire movie, because Vicky's in like, she was on the talk show, and then she like is now in an institution. We know that the little girl is not physically there and is just, astral projecting, essentially.
I mean, I don't have a better
The rules about whether or not she can affect the world, and like, obviously she can do small things like pick up a phone and pick up a possum, and people can hear her for sure, but only the Shaws can see her. And Art, obviously.
Yes. Let me see. Oh yeah, obviously she gets told, it's like, oh, I'm at the carnival place. Come pick me up there. And then he's obviously not there, and she has to go check it out to grab her little brother. Yeah, he just kind of goes around. Then we get a bit of backstory for the father killing himself, because the boyfriend only met her, and he's like, hey, why is she so down on everything? He's like, well, the dad killed herself not super long ago, so she's always a bit, I don't know, anxiety ridden and whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, that explains all of the things I've seen today, basically.
It's described he's he had a brain tumor is what they say.
Right, yeah, I should have added that. Brain tumor, and then that fucked with him in a way, and then he took his own life at some point.
Yeah, he apparently drank a whole bottle of Jack and then drove into a transformer, and then that caught on fire.
Can't believe he found Optimus Prime.
Prime's okay.
Oh, hey! Let's go!
Go watch Transformers 1, it's good. Anyway,
I've not seen it.
I like it. It's good.
Good memes.
Some issues.
Cool.
I mean, there's this one Twitter account that's been hyping up that movie for like the last couple of weeks, and apparently it seems
there's
to work
Twitter
really
accounts
well.
that are hyping up the Acolytes. So
Yeah, but
I don't know that that's
no,
good.
I just
James telling me that it's good is
no, I
probably...
mean this one is like actually successful. Like it apparently got the word out quite. Like it was that account was mentioned by one of the producers or something during a screening or something.
Yeah.
Like that account has become like a big meme.
Cause there's this weird thing that people have noticed. It's both with the Wild Robot and with Transformers 1. Both Disney and Paramount have done absolutely no marketing for it whatsoever, which is super weird, especially compared to how much hype the last two Disney movies got. So everyone kind of confused why they're not pushing these movies at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it's weird, but I don't know. I never know why that happens. Put all that money in a product and then you don't advertise it for the cinemas.
Yeah, word of mouth can be powerful, though. I guess that's kind of the lesson, right? Because I mean,
yeah,
Wild Robot and Transformers 1, I think, are doing all right, aren't they?
Yeah, especially since Transformers 1 came out in the UK a few days ago. It's jumped up and making money.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, that Twitter account, it got, what was it? I think it's Brown Table, and it got Charlie to watch it.
Right.
So.
Well.
Sorry, I have a growling puppy.
Oh no.
Well, time to kill him.
Oh no.
Oh, she's a good puppy. It's okay, Jojo. That was a
Anyway,
sneeze.
Sienna's looking for Jonathan, can't find him. And I think she's just texting with the little girl at the moment, is the idea. It's like, hey, I'm stuck, he writes. Where are you? I'm on the Terrifier. Oh, it's the movie. Wait.
Yeah, they said the name.
They've written it. They don't actually say it. They've
said it in text.
Yeah, Jonathan wakes up.
Low key, the Terrifier looks really fun to walk through. As someone who likes haunted houses, I would totally go.
Yeah, Jonathan wakes up.
Kickstarter goal for Terrifier 4 will build the Terrifier.
The interactive experience.
Jonathan wakes up, sees a little girl who's been cutting up her own face, apparently. Whatever that means for this projection or whatever she is, I don't know. But it looks it looks gross.
It kind of looks like Vicky's face.
Vicky's face, right? Yeah. Anyway, back to the car. We're gonna take some more drugs because the boyfriend is horny and stuff. It's like, here, take some drugs. It's gonna make us go longer because it's late and tired and stuff. And she's like, no, I don't know. And then she takes it. Yeah, they take drugs. Is there anything else in that scene? I think that's it.
Is this where he shows up, or I guess no?
No, not yet. We cut away first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
drugs.
They just pop him some drugs.
Drugs and sex.
Yeah, there you go.
That's one does.
Place.
Or two.
But yeah, Sienna goes through the Terrifier. It's all very spooky. And then we go back to the other ones, and I think that's when Artie shows up. Oh, right. He has to go take a pee. Because Brooke is actually still worried about her friend. You know what? Another nice little touch. In another movie, they would have just started having sex, and then they died. But here they actually get separated a little bit before that happens, because he has to pee, and and Brooke tries to call her friend because she's been out for a little while, and that worries her because you get worried about your friends. That's how that works.
And hey, when you've been drinking, you might have to pee.
Yeah.
You always have to pee.
Yeah.
Then we get a fake jump scare basically because the boyfriend is scaring Brooke.
Yep.
He's like, you asshole. And they just have some banter. And then he's going for a pee. Artie appears and he gets stabbed right in the dick.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I should have
Multiple
worn that
times.
tip shirt.
This was very predictable. I was like, okay, he's gonna get stabbed in the dick.
He's
Come on,
getting-
come on, it's so obvious.
Well, the
With his
funniest thing,
pants down.
the funniest part is it's like a wide open field right in front of him, and he pisses staring up into the sky and completely misses Art.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
popping
fuck
around
yeah.
the corner.
That's the best pee I've ever had. Oh, God, my dick. Because it's not only getting stabbed, that dick is getting ripped right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that made my puppy leave. Bye, Jojo.
Yeah, I'm upset too. He
Jojo
like
doesn't
Artie
like
even swipes it over the
Mutilated penises.
the side window and then grabs Brooke and drags her out.
He just has no respect.
Yeah, pretty nasty. But yeah, we're heading towards we're like in the last 20, 25-ish minutes where we get some
last
action
act.
going. Because Brooke kicks him in the face, he falls over and she runs away, and he's like, hell yeah, finally some action again. I can chase the girl around. She also gets sliced in the leg before that.
Yeah, which,
don't know when she
limits her
gets sliced.
mobility, makes it more realistic that she did not just escape. Because, often in these situations, like, why don't you just, like, run away? Don't run into the haunted amusement park.
But yeah, she just gets chased around. Sienna's still looking for Jonathan, looks around in the spooky place. Brooke also ends up in here, yells, and she goes and finds Brooke? Oh, well, not when she's alive. Never mind. I misremembered.
Yeah, so the
This is
kill.
my next complaint.
Oh, really?
Which might
Actually, I like what Art does here. I think actually this is one of the best examples of him killing people in a way that is darkly comical.
well, it's not how he kills her; it's rather how she doesn't escape. Because the only explanation would be she's on drugs. Because there's a door to her left of the wall she's backed up to.
Oh,
Left or right? There's a door there because that's the way Sienna walks in.
I actually
the
thought that
bottom.
was just one of the stall doors in the washroom.
Oh, yeah, me
It is a
too.
washroom, right?
Yeah, no. So that's what I thought too. Until Sienna walks through that spot later, it's fine.
This part here, though, where it's like she's ready to defend against that board with the nails in it, but he just cranks back with that a tiny bit and then throws acid in her face with the other hand.
Yeah, the acid was
and
set
he's
up
like
in the beginning.
hysterically laughing. Sorry?
It's the acid he picks up in the beginning in the mortuary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he splashes right in her face, and she's like, "Oh God!" And he's having a great time, and he does like these comical fucking swings, like really wide swings to the back. It was like, whoa, dung, and he fucking
Playing it up
just,
like a clown.
yeah, and he just caves in her torso, her chest.
Yeah.
Well, the first hit is right across the kneecap, and then the
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah, she got one of the most fucked up weapons used on her. I feel bad.
Yeah, it's the one we see
And
him
the acid.
craft in this little spooky lair.
Oh my god, I think I'd rather be hit with the post with the nails than the acid, honestly.
Acid is nasty, yeah. And then
Like
he
acid to the face, I was like, oh god, that would be so horrible.
and then he grabs into the open chest piece and grabs the heart and eats it. And yeah, you're
It's
right.
still
Sienna does
haunted.
walk into where she was standing. That's actually a good point.
Yeah, so the only way is because of the drugs. That's the only way that I can excuse it, because she should have
Well,
seen
I
that.
mean, if her fight or flight's going like crazy, having tunnel vision is not unreasonable.
very
She's
common.
probably in the black at this point.
Yeah, like it's just you are focused on the fight. You're not. It's shit. I know this. It's when you're fight or flight, you always want to flight first. But when your brain goes into fight mode, that is
It's
what
hard to
you're
go
focused
back
on.
to flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just the fact that she was armed, so she's like, "Oh, I can hit him with this and then escape."
Nasty. But yeah, Sienna sees the dead corpse of the friendo, and Art is right there doing his little fingy wave. It's like, hello.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see what happens. Oh, does she grab the board? Oh no, Jonathan is here, and he just kind of distracts him a little bit. And I think she punches him once with the board. Yeah, because there's a nail in it.
Yeah, she hits him with the nail and then twists it. Which, yeah, nice touch.
Yeah, and then she gets flung around a bit through the stall. She gets fucked up quite a bit, and then he leaves to go get Jonathan. Then just a bit more spooky stuff where he goes around, tries to find Jonathan. She wakes up and grabs the big crafted mallet with all the knives and stuff in it to use as a weapon. And I mean, that's nice. She grabbed the weapon because she's in danger. I like when that happens with the survivors.
Yes.
They
Very
arm
simple
themselves.
thing that lots of movies forget.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't get it. Pick up a pen. Having a pen on you is better than being totally unarmed.
Yeah. And if you thought the child was safe from harm in this movie, the younger child, no, he gets sliced right across the face with a scalpel as soon as he gets to him, and also stabbed in the back multiple times. No one is
Jonathan
safe.
goes through a lot.
And then Sienna comes in from behind, knocks him right in the head with the with the mallet, and he's like, ow. Yeah, at this point he's like not really human anymore, so he's just there having this mallet in his head with all the knives and stuff. And they try to escape, and he's coming around as well. There's like paintings and stuff. There's like devil stuff on it, so obviously some stuff going on there.
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
a lot of those images were in the sketchbook.
Yes, that's a good point. I forgot to mention that. Absolutely. Boppity-boppity-doo. Yeah, they're just trying to get to a place where they, I don't know, maybe call the police or just be safe. And yeah, she's just kind of looking around, looking for him, and then he comes back with the nine-tail thingy again, and just fucking fucks up Jonathan with that thing. Like,
yeah.
He fucking beats the piss out of him. And then we have a very sloppy fight with the two. Like, he uses the nine tails, she uses the mallet. Jonathan gets thrown to the ground. She tries to protect him because she's the big sister. So that's another nice touch.
Yeah, I actually like this quite a bit.
That
She
was
crawls
like
on top of him.
super badass of her. Like, dude, because that shit must fucking hurt. And she just crawls right over him to protect him.
Mm-hmm. Tanks it all for a little brother.
And the Artie is having a great time. He's like swinging around, goes like woohoo. And I think it's I'm still not sure if she caught the actual nine tails or if it got stuck on the bracelet.
She
there.
caught it.
She caught it.
No, she caught it.
I think it's a little of both, because it looks like it's stuck in her bracer, and then when she rips it out, she rips it out of her bracer.
Mm.
This part feels so good to watch her just whip the shit out of Art.
Oh yeah. He gets it all back. Like there's blood everywhere. It's like one of the 3 times he basically gets killed.
It's actually this exact kind of thing though is a very, very common final girl trope where she turns the iconic or like the traditional weapon of the killer against him.
Yep.
And yeah, I thought that it was cool to do it as not the last thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she overwhelms him a bit and grabs a spiky bit from the wall and puts it right into his brain hole. at this point, you're like, okay, we did it. We did the thing. We're gonna go get the safety now. Like, we spiked him in the head. But nope, he's still here because he's some crazy demon creature or whatever.
Yeah, these things are starting to slow him down less too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jonathan is like, he's not the one being targeted right now, but he sees that Arthur has the sort of shotgun there, because that's shown, and he grabs it and fucking shoots him in the stomach.
I love that Art kind of surrenders for a second. He's like, oh yeah, I have no way out of this, and there's no way you're not pulling that trigger, is
Right?
there?
Like, fuck.
It's like, ooh.
I mean, look at this frame.
Funny comedic beat.
He's like, my hands are up, huh?
Yeah. It's like, any chance this will work?
It's like,
and I think there's a part of him too that I think is reinforced by how this whole situation ends, that he wants Jonathan to pull the trigger. Like, he's like almost kind of proud of him that he got the better of him.
Yeah.
Like, he respects it. He's like, oh, you got me. Look at that.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, but he obviously pulls the trigger because he's not completely stupid like other slasher protagonists might be. He
goes Batman on him. He's like, I'd rather see you in jail.
He just fucking blasts him. And at this point, it's like, now we're done, right? He got shot, spiked in the head, everything, and even Sienna is having like this little moment where it's like on the precipice of death or whatever you want to call it, talking to the mom and everything. And yeah, she wakes back up and realizes Jonathan is gone. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? But yeah, Artie is still here. He's fine-ish, I guess. I mean, he's full of blood. His face is ripped open. He has a thing in his head. He got shot. But yeah, just slows him down. Jonathan is unconscious on the ground, and then
I think Sienna thinks he's dead. Is the big thing.
Yeah, Sienna gets stabbed and then shoved off into a hole.
Stabbed with
her father's knife, right? Yeah.
Her sword, yeah.
And oh yeah, she gets stabbed and then shoved into the weird magic dream hole or whatever that is.
Like
Portal to hell.
Portal to hell or whatever.
No, I honestly think that is supposed to be what it is. Like, yeah. Yeah,
and then he's like,
don't want to give away too much.
Yo, that was a sick kill. I'm gonna throw that knife down in there, and I'm gonna go eat Jonathan. That's basically his idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
why would Art give her sword back to her? Like, that's
I don't think
so
Art
dumb.
has two possibilities. One, I think Art either has no idea that the sword has anything to do with making her anything other than just one of his victims, or B, Sienna has some kind of role in Art's plan that involves her kind of becoming the like Valkyrie hero thing.
Right, or he just thinks he killed her by shoving her down the hole.
Maybe, yeah, that's also possible. But
Well.
like, either he knows and he threw it in for a reason, or he doesn't know and he thought throwing it in wouldn't matter.
Right.
Well, the big
I don't
thing
think
is
we'll
he
know
didn't throw it
until
in.
later in
He
the
drops it
series.
right outside of the portal.
Oh, does she? Does he? Oh, she doesn't
Yeah.
have the. Oh, you know what? She got stabbed by it. No, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he drops it in, but when
Right.
he walks, well, it makes it clear. It cuts to it. It falls straight flat onto the ground, and then he walks away and it cuts to it on the ground, then back to the
Yeah,
portal.
and it's on the ground where it starts glowing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's right next to it. Okay, good
Well,
catch.
I think as far as the powers rules go, up until she was stabbed in the stomach, Sienna has no superpowers of any kind at all. Like, everything she's done
Right.
up until now is just normal ass human Sienna.
And then this is where he walks back to Jonathan and is waking him up.
Holy crap! Just someone in chat. I just saw this last night. I commented on EFAB's Freddy movie that I wanted the crew to do Terrifier next year. Score. Well,
Yeah.
already done. Already doing this.
Terrifier
Yeah,
3 next week.
You're only 3.5 hours late. Don't worry.
But yeah,
Well,
she's like
stay
she's now in some weird water torture hole while Artie is up there and tries to wake up Jonathan. He's just kind of snapping his fingers and slaps him on the face. He's like, "Hello, wake up! I want to eat you while you know that I'm
really
doing
wants...
it."
He's like, "I want you to be afraid, and you're unconscious."
But yeah, she's basically in the clown cafe, and there's like songs going on. The one lady is still on fire. That's kind of fun. And then she dies, and then some magic bullshit happens, and she gets revived. And as of this point, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, and it's just really confusing. But
okay, so sword is magic.
Oh, I can tell by the glowing magic thing. Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm saying that the sword stabbing her, I think, is what made her die, because she does kind of die here. And then I believe she's brought back to life by a divine entity, the same way Art was by a demonic one.
That's what I'm thinking.
Probably.
I'm honestly thinking the next movie, 4, will explore the possibility that Sienna can't die, because she's like the chosen one to take out Art. So as long as Art's demonic entity exists, that she will not die either, like until she takes him out somehow. Because there are always elements of that sword healing her or whatever, or like bringing her back to life and stuff. So I think like we might get that. I don't know. It's just my theory.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty likely.
Well, we shall see.
We'll talk about that more next week.
But yeah, she got glowy bits and gets healed and stuff, and comes back to save Jonathan, who is currently getting chewed on by Artie. Yeah, she stabs him and fucks him up completely and decapitates him. And Artie is even like, "Yeah, do it."
Yeah, that's another kind of hint towards, I think he might want this to kind of be going down how it is. Because it is sort of the same kind of thing he does with the shotgun, where he's like, "Oh, you got me." Because he kind of looks at her, and then as she's about to like crank back the sword, he nods at her. And then right when she moves her arms back to swing, he then like kind of presents his neck and smiles. It's like, "Yeah, chop my head off."
That last swing is so powerful, dude. She just like lets out this roar.
Like, "Ah."
Yeah, and she's great at doing the physical acting here. Like, she's a maybe like 5'2" girl, but like she actually handles the action scenes quite well.
Right?
Which,
I think she does like 98% of her own stunts or something.
Well, you can
She's,
tell
like,
just by the way
trained
she
in
moves
martial
in
arts.
scenes like this. Like, it's just like she definitely has a lot of confidence behind her physical acting, and that can often be a problem in movies that try to. I actually think I noticed this problem in that John Wick spinoff, like the trailer for it. It really doesn't look like Ana de Armas can fight. And I think you can kind of tell in a lot of at least the action scenes that they showed, where it's like there's something about her that she doesn't seem very confident in the movements. I don't know if I was just being picky on her, but I don't have that complaint with Sienna here. Like she really seems like she knows how to swing that sword.
Well,
at least is confident with it.
Yeah. Like that's the thing you need.
Yeah, she's pretty good at fight scenes for sure.
Well, he's decapitated now, and they're like, "Yay, it's done!" But then the spooky girl arrives and grabs the head and leaves, and probably brings it to the what was her name? Vicky, yeah. To poop her out later or something. I don't know. Whatever, however that works.
Bring it is definitely a way you can say that.
Yeah, just incarnates the head into her womb or reanimate stuff. Yeah,
something's happening.
But like, what happens to the pale little girl? Like, does she transfer bodies into Vicky? Like, that's what I'm wondering, because she just kind of disappears. Yeah, so I think like the last time we see her is just taking Art's head away, and then Vicky becomes like Art's sidekick and way more evil. So I'm thinking like she transferred bodies, but again, just theorizing.
Oh, I think that's 100% what happens. At least, but again, I guess that's moving a little bit into 3. But
yeah,
I think the scene we have left is really just it's just the basically teaser for 3. Like it's the post credits scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess.
And we get a reference to All Hallows Eve with all the writing on the wall. Because they write that in.
I didn't catch that.
We also have Chris Jericho. The reason
There
I
you
know
go.
this franchise exists, by the way, I know he was in this movie, and I was like, "What is this?" I now know of this, and now I've seen
No,
Yeah.
it.
Why is he in this movie?
Well,
I don't know how that came together, but I knew he was in this movie, and I was waiting for him to appear. I was like, when does he appear? Because I knew he had like the security outfit going on, and I guess
buckle up
he's.
for Terrifier 3.
Oh, is he in Terrifier 3 as well?
Well, the Terrifier 3 starts right here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. But yeah, they have like Halloween stuff going on, obviously, and it's like, oh, look at this stuff. My wife made it. It's like a brain cake or a brain gummy or whatever.
Brain jelly.
There's just some banter talk about this patient, and we cut to her. She's like bleeding everywhere, puts like stuff on the wall. It's like, oh, who says like whore, pig, filth, bitch, and stuff. And she's not doing so well,
Yeah.
but she's birthing the head of Artie. And
What?
Oh, you didn't catch this?
No, I didn't. I just
No,
said
he
I
didn't
did not
watch the scene.
I didn't even know there was an end credit scene.
Oh yeah, that was like it's like really shortly after. It's like not even a minute of credits, and then we
Well-
get the teaser.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you
had
missed
to.
a
I mean, I
two-
guess like
you
I
missed,
could see
2
that,
minutes.
especially if he doesn't like scary movies, that the second he sees a credit come
He's
up,
like,
just
"I'm
turning
done."
it off and be like, okay, fine, let's finish with this.
But yeah,
That
so
was part of it, and also it was like right before we started, so I had to do.
yeah,
some
it's good.
things.
It's all right.
Ah.
But yeah, she births Artie's head.
Yep.
And yeah, this is how he's back, I assume. It's really gross. There's all the blood everywhere. It's great.
Yeah, she's licking him clean, which is super gross.
Ugh.
The umbilical
Ew.
cord moves,
Yeah.
and it's all.
His
Great.
head goes like obviously without any sound, but you know. Yeah, he's
And then
he
she
just
laughs
got
with the glowy eye.
he just got birthed, and he has a great time already. And that's the end for realsies this time.
It is.
And that's Terrifier 1 and 2. It's really fucking fun. I like this. I really do. It's just I just like it. I just don't know what else to say. We just went through it for 4 hours, so there was lots, 3.5 hours, whatever. Lots to.
Yeah, still, honestly, we covered one for longer than I thought we would, and I think
Same.
we got through 2 faster than I thought we would. So, yeah, even out.
But yeah, I'm curious now what we explore in terms of mechanics and stuff in 3. I mean, you guys obviously know already. I'll probably gonna try to catch it somehow.
I'll say this much: it definitely does not do the forget all that stuff. We're just doing another one now. Like it really takes into account everything that happened in this movie
That's
and
good to know.
understands the questions you'll have, and does its best to not necessarily answer them, but to give you more clues that create more context and give you a better idea of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to check that out. I mean, apparently it's on Amazon. You said, James, right? So
Yes,
I shouldn't
the
have.
first two.
Yeah.
The first 2 on Amazon for free if you have Prime, and then All Hallows Eve is on here for like $5 or something.
sick.
What about Terrifier 3? That's the one.
If
Yeah,
you don't
Terrifier-
mind ads, All Hallows Eve is on Tubi for free. You can
Oh.
just make an account. Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
All Hallows Eve is $4 on Amazon Prime. It's also on Tubi, as she said, and it's also on the AMC Plus app for free.
But for Terrifier 3, is
Terrifier
there a way?
3 is on Amazon Prime for $25 to buy.
Yeah, I see it right here.
Is it to buy or to rent?
Buy. Because
Huh.
it just came out, so they're gonna do buy.
Wait, hang on. It says for me pre-order movie
Oh,
UHD. Ultra
Is
HD.
it
Yeah.
only in America that it's out, or is that a pre-order also, James?
I mean,
look-
I'm
like
currently
it looks
seeing
like
it
it's a
on the
pre-order.
US side. So
Yeah,
this
yeah, it
looks-
looks like it's a pre-order. It's probably so it doesn't mess up the theatrical release.
Mhm.
That or it's a exclusivity thing they have. I could check.
Let's see. Oh, it'll be fine. Well, it's gonna be on Amazon for sure because it has like all the different quality options here. Should be fine. But yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully Metal can find a way to watch it before next week. So, yeah, so we can get back and do Terrifier 3, which
Yeah.
everyone here is welcome to come back for us. Swoll, I understand if you want to step aside.
I will be in the chat next time.
I will be in chat.
Cool.
That is.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I do want to
there's-
know what happens. Like, this is interesting. I just don't want to watch it.
No, fair enough. Well,
That
we'll talk
is-
about it in depth next week, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Does anyone want to just give their final thoughts on the things we spoke about today, and I don't know, shifted perspectives, confirmation of things you were thinking being, agreed upon?
I'm mostly just curious now what 3 is gonna tell me about what happened in here, because there's just things I'm so confused about mechanically and stuff. I think there's gonna be a lot of things that just gonna stay the way they are already, not necessarily gonna get explained, because that's just how this works sometimes with these movies, I guess. That you can't just tie everything up in a nice little knot.
Well, we potentially have 2 more films
Yes.
to explore, so he's not gonna just pull all of his tricks out of the bag in the next one. Probably drag it on for a little bit more.
At least one more. I could see him being like, you know what, I'm just going to finish it in this one and do it in 4. But I think that even if it is 2, I think there's probably still 2 movies worth of story to tell here, considering what they did with 3 especially.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The way it left off, I feel like you can explore a whole different side of the Terrifier franchise with it. Like, he could really go crazy with it if he wanted to. And with these movies making more and more money every time they release, he's got the potential to push the ceiling. So I'm really curious as to where the direction is going.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The closest thing I see for it coming online is it probably come out on some streaming service called Screambox, because that's which is a streaming service owned by Cineverse, because that's the distributor for the Terrifier series.
Well, I guess that only really helps us if it's on.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Metal can consult the German dark web.
But yeah, good stuff. Go watch those movies. They're definitely, if not anything else, they're really fun. If you like gory slasher stuff, I give it a big thumbs up. It's really fun and entertaining.
Yeah, you need to not be put off by gore to even begin to start these movies, though. Like, if gore is the thing, it's like blood effects I can't deal with, I would be like, yeah, you shouldn't watch these.
Yeah, if you're
like, I think they're
squeamish,
good, but it's not gonna make people happy if they don't like gore. That said, I think there's more to these movies than just like torture porn. Yeah.
Agreed. A lot of people just talk about the gore, but there's actually good writing there. Like, Damien's actually a pretty decent writer, as well as like being really good at special effects. So I'm excited just to see him keep making these movies, to see what crazy shit he comes up with.
Hell yeah. Wow.
Are we about done? Should we move to super chats, or
yeah? We only got 2 super chats. We're quick today.
Okay, so
it's been a slow day.
It's okay. These are movies not a lot of people have seen. I still wanted to talk about them though. And hey,
I'm just gonna blame Mauler because he's streaming right now. He's just gonna.
It's probably
Mauler.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Screw
you. Had to be
long
playing
man.
Star Wars Outlaws, Mauler. No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spit in his face when I'm messaging him. It's fine.
You gotta give him a little stick. Right in the.
Yeah. Oh, talking about spit, I actually meant to mention that in the in the movie because Sienna spits blood in Artie's face.
Oh yeah.
And then after he pushes her down into the hole, he just does a little spit on her. He goes like, it's really funny. Which is probably the only noise he makes in both movies.
He's such a petty person.
Yeah.
And you could tell I don't remember if the director said it or not, but even based off the movies, you could tell Art's kind of misogynistic. Because most of the women get way worse fates than the men do.
But
yeah, he tends to go guys relatively quickly.
Argue. I mean, 3. There's some gnarly
I was about
stuff
to say, I was like,
3.
again, shower.
Oh,
I was like,
hold
on.
The showers.
I think the shower scene is, I think how he balanced out the gender dynamics between
also, the dude
Dawn
and Duke
in
getting
the
his dick chopped off too. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So.
But 3 has a scene that is on par with Dawn in the original movie.
Yeah, it really is.
Because the people who suffer the most tend to be women, and then also people who insult him. Like the clerk in the second movie. The clerk was being rude, and like he suffered a little bit.
That might be a break from that here because the guy in the third movie I'm talking about, I don't think says anything to him at any point.
Mm,
Yeah, honestly, just about him.
that's interesting.
Well. Let's go for super chats real quick before we get out of here. We got $2 by Nick the Greek. Thank you very much. Just says metal
Thank you
webs
very
shit
much.
on the walls too. But I do but I do it at home, so that's fine.
One should hope not.
Can just spray it with my shower head.
Should've done
Gotta
like
get
that,
that.
apparently.
He's got the German shitting table. What do you expect?
Ugh, gross. And another $5 by Nick the Greek. Thank you very much. One thing that bothers me with these movies is they never make sure the killer's actually dead when they have the chance. Oh yeah, that's such a trope in these slasher movies. For sure. Like the one lady in this first one when she gets cocky, it's like, "Hey, I got you," and then she gets shot. It's so funny.
I guess in the sake of art, it wouldn't help though, Jojo.
I guess so.
I mean,
yeah, would have
she wouldn't know
stopped
that.
him maybe for a little bit, but she doesn't know that. So, and then we got $5 by Slumpy. Thank you very much. Check out Shudder streaming. I think these are on there. I heard a lot. I heard.
Shudder is where I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, I
think
did
Shudder
see
has
the Terrifier ones are on Amazon though. I did just see them there, so
All right.
should be.
Yeah, because I know Shudder has a thing with the AMC Plus. There's a shit ton of horror stuff on the AMC thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a lot.
Well,
'Cause
they
that's
do
where I
Fear
watched the
Fest
Terror.
every year, so they
Yeah.
probably have a good catalog of horror stuff.
Right.
And they have a million seasons of The Walking Dead on there.
Oh yeah, you'll be
Oh
busy
my
for fucking ever with that.
And then they also have what was the other show I got into? Interview with a Vampire. That was pretty good. I like that show a lot.
I've not seen it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. We have done it. Well, thanks you. I should go to sleep because it's about to be
Yeah, it's
midnight.
late night in Charlie.
But yeah, thanks, my Miss Lauder was great having you on. Good times.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was a
you're
lot of fun.
Very welcome to join us for part 3 as well, if you'd
I'm
like
totally
to.
on board.
Hell yeah, sounds
Yay.
great. And obviously, I guess James and Swoll are here too, but they're here all the time, so fuck them. Anyway, no, thanks
That's
for hanging
fair.
out.
That's
All
fair.
right, so my
Yeah,
channel is Metalcommander, so you can play DS.
yeah. James still doesn't do anything on YouTube. He just hangs out here. But
Yeah.
that's fine.
All right, I gotta.
I know what I do at this point.
That
Yeah.
that actually does remind me when Metal and Mahler are allegedly supposed to play DS2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that too.
Oh, you
Oh,
want to
James,
stream
why?
that?
Yeah, remember I
Ooh.
brought it up. I gotta download the OBS.
Hell yeah, let me know. I'll help you set it up.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Since Fortism probably isn't gonna fucking do it, he's gone.
He just appears
Constantly.
sometimes randomly. It's funny.
Exactly.
He was on
So-
EFAP 300 in a couple segments, I think.
Yeah,
I've spoken to him recently.
I sometimes just drag him back in to play video games with us because I like having him
Yeah.
around. He's a fun lad.
Oh yeah, we played Helldivers with him, didn't we? Or something like that.
No,
I
with
think I remember
Fortia.
playing. Huh.
No, you
We
played
played video
with
games
Swoll.
with Fortia. I feel like I did.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
Pummel Party.
Miss Slaughter, where can people find you? Advertise your flames. I think it's on Twitch. I put the link down below, of course.
Thank you much. Yeah, pretty much just on Twitch. I do live streaming exclusively, but I'm also on socials too. If you have like X or Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, I think I invited Miss Slaughter because I just saw her tweet about Terrifier and I was looking for guests and I was like,
Oh,
oh, what the hell? I've played Quake Champions with her on their community night one time. I'll ask. And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh, cool, that worked.
Yeah, I love Terrifier and I can talk about it forever. So good
Very
choice.
That's a good trait to have for this show because we sometimes go long.
mm-hmm. Good stuff. Go check it out. Twitch link is down below. Swoll, you doing anything currently? Any streams you want to do again? Did you finish Metal Gear Solid, by the way? I forgot.
I didn't. So
Wow.
everyone who watched knew what happened. I got to the Sorrow, and I was like, "Shit, I killed a lot of fucking people." Then my game crashed, and I'm like, "I'm not motivated to go back and try this 8,000 times."
I could,
So
I
I'm just
could,
gonna procrastinate until I feel like doing it again.
that could take a little bit because they all keep walking towards you.
It's just so much fun to kill people in Metal Gear Solid 3, though. That's the problem.
It is. Also, like when I like lose stealth, I'm not gonna start over. I'm just gonna shoot everyone and get through the thing. Right? But then it's like, well, you shouldn't have killed everyone. It's like, oh.
I mean, they make you pay for your moral choices in a small way by
Yeah.
giving you a lot more ghosts to avoid.
And when you don't kill anyone, I think it's only the bosses that come towards you, which is like 3 at this point, I think, or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sorrow's before
4.
the Fury, right?
4.
Yeah.
Sorrow after the Fury?
I think it's
don't
after.
remember.
Sora is after the Fury.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So yeah, it is all the. Oh my God, what are their names?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
name
I
of
don't
the
remember.
squad?
It's been way too long
end?
since I played them myself.
The
Oh,
Fury.
wow. I've played Metal Gear Solid 3 probably about like 20 times at this point, and I'm forgetting what the boss's like team of people is. They have a name.
The Cobras?
Huh?
Something Cobras.
Yeah, is it the Cobra unit? I think it might be.
Yeah, Cobra unit.
Okay.
Has something to do
what
with
it's looking
snakes.
Cool. Anyways, I
well.
guess yeah. Oh, Swoll. Sorry, were you finished doing your plugs?
I mean, at some point I'll start streaming again. Maybe I don't know. Probably not. Maybe I'll make a video if I feel motivated. But right now, I just draw stuff and post them around.
Cool.
Like I finished one today. I don't know if I'm gonna post it around places. I don't know.
Do it.
I might.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of taking a break from things. My wife is in Peru on an adventure for the Forbidden Frontier show,
Oh.
looking at pyramids and things like that with like Gary and his wife. And
Sweet.
yeah, so I've just been trying to do some work around the house so that hopefully she comes back to like a place that's set up a little bit differently. And yeah,
Aw,
we've
how
been
sweet.
doing little construction projects. Isn't that right, puppies?
Oh,
They get
that's-
so
that's-
afraid anytime I'm like moving things or building them. Though.
They're like, we don't like change. What are you doing?
But hey, I'm not skipping any Metals Forge episodes because
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
this is always a good time. I like having time to talk to friends about a thing I recently watched,
Hell yeah.
whether it was good or bad. This was a good one though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
wish I
yeah.
could say I can take a break, but I'm doing quite the opposite. I'm still making videos on Rings of Power. I finished the cutting of audio of episode 5. Yes, I'm very behind. Leave me alone. Again, the whole balance, just having my day job and then still wanting to make a video. And also, I'm currently streaming Silent Hill 2 Remake, which I've been enjoying quite a bit. Bloober team did not cock it up completely, so that's nice.
Yeah. Aside from some stuttering, that
The
I feel like it's getting
performance.
a bit better.
No,
I don't know if I
it's
like
not.
did a
It's-
GPU update that. Well, at least the last area I was in because I was in the. I just finished the first Pyramid Head fight.
What I'm curious. What settings are you playing on? Because I have to play everything low to get a consistent 60 most of the time.
Well, while streaming though for you, right? No, like streaming on the same.
It was the same
computer?
offline. I tried settings offline. When I was offline, it got to 60 in the middle, but that was just in the beginning area without anything happening. So it definitely would
I'm
have.
opening up
dropped
the
there.
game to try to tell you what my settings are, but if it messes up with Discord, oh no, okay, it looks like I have it running in borderless.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I was like, all my other screens might go black. But I'll tell you in a moment.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah,
Keep giving your impression.
Yeah, I'm working on the video. I'm doing probably another Silent Hill stream tomorrow. I did a cheeky late one last night after doing some editing. Going through there, but yeah, I'm enjoying Silent Hill 2 Remake. I think it's pretty good, which makes me happy because I did like the original Silent Hill when I first played it for the first time 2 years ago. So yeah, happy that this worked out. I'm gonna be on.
The original Silent Hill or the original Silent Hill 2?
Yes, both.
Ah, okay.
2 years ago, I played Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 on Halloween month, Halloween season. And
All right, I got my settings on. So I have FSR on 3.0 at balanced. My native resolution's 1440, and my preset for graphics is high.
yeah,
Ray
so
tracing off. Because
I had to, if I wanted
ray
to
tracing.
get to anything remotely playable, even offline, I had to do middle ultra performance mode to get it
Ugh.
on 60 FPS, and then it looked like ass.
What have you tried running it while you're not streaming?
as I just said, I tested this while I was offline.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry.
I spent like 40 minutes just trying to figure out what settings I can get and can do, because I was offline and GPU was just 100% all of the time. It's insane.
Were you using FSR?
Yes,
Yeah, I was about to
on
ask.
FSR. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. To get below 100, I had to go ultra performance mode, and then was still 80%.
And you have like a 7700 XT, right?
I have a
or something like that?
6800.
68. Okay. Cool.
Which is still well in the minimal settings recommendations. I mean, so it shouldn't be this crazy, because my fucking CPU is asleep. It's like on 20%.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
I'm
Get better
considering
at using UE5 developers, please.
yeah, I'm also just considering getting another GPU upgrade, just so I don't have to deal with this anymore. Now also I want the new encoder that is on the 7000
You
series.
should give me your 6800 for my birthday.
That's probably gonna go into my other PC.
Damn it. Oh.
Well, I guess
Oh,
that's it for our show, everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, that's that. I'm gonna be on EFAB stuff, of course. That's happening because it's October, so I'm gonna be busy with that. Yeah, all the things are happening, and yeah, stuff.
I was gonna say my birthday is at the end of the month.
Ooh.
If you guys
Ah,
want
right on.
to give me money.
You need to stream for them to give you money. They're not just PayPaling you.
What do you mean? They could do that.
They could totally do that.
They could. They probably won't, though. They'll send you super chats, though.
I can't get
If they
super
like you.
chats. I don't have enough of the stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't,
yeah,
you
that's
can't do partner stuff yet. He needs to get to a
Yeah.
certain place.
Have a
Oh, well.
Streamlabs link up there or something.
Let's have to make Theo make me a video and it'll work out.
In any case,
Alright.
that's what's been happening. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for the guests for hanging out. It's been quite
Yeah,
a
thanks, Miss
fun
Slaughter.
ride.
James.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And yeah, we shall be back next week with Terrifier 3. We'll do that.
Hell
It's
yeah.
gonna be
Spooky
fun.
Ween continues.
But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, apparently, probably with Silent Hill. I'll try to do a longer one tomorrow, maybe even get through the rest of the game, because it shouldn't be that much left. I did 2 longer streams, so... not longer, I did 2 sections. It doesn't matter, I'm just rambling, I'm tired. Thanks for hanging out, goodbye!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Words.